Welcome to another Boss and Roll video. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I have a special guest with me here today, and it is Phil Gallagher of Thraben University. He is an expert in death and taxes, which is what's on the plate in front of me here. And before I throw over to Phil to explain what this deck does, I'll explain how we got here with Phil. Uh, I realized I have no Legacy Death and Taxes content. I do have Modern and Historic, though, on the channel, but I don't have any Legacy for D&T. I also noticed I had no Epic Storm, and my Eternal Glory podcast co-hosts Phil and Bryant are experts on Death and Taxes and Epic Storm, and both of them are decks that I just don't know how to play, like at all. Uh, they are not decks that you can just pick up and do reasonably well with. Like you really need to understand what's going on before you start putting up any success at all. And I honestly believe Death and Taxes to be the most complicated deck in Legacy. This is the hardest deck to play optimally, and I am really excited that I have these contacts that can help play it right. So Phil is here. How's it going, Phil? Tell us what we're in for tonight.
All right, so we are in for a mono white control deck that is creature centric. I know it's really easy to look at this deck list and think this is going to be a very aggressive white weenie deck, but in reality, this is a deck that's going to want to drag the game on for turn after turn after turn because it tends to have endgame inevitability over a lot of the other decks of the format. So we're looking to put a squeeze on a lot of our opponent's resources, denying mana with something like Rashadenport, Wasteland, or Thalia, or otherwise invalidating portions of our opponent's game plan. Spirit of the Labyrinth can go and shut off cantrips. Sanctum Prelate can sometimes stop a major win condition, say something like a Doomsday or a Show and Tell, and even something as simple as the 1/1 Mother of Runes can shut off a lot of things like Lightning Bolt and Swords to Plowshare that are really central to this format.
Yeah, so this is a prison deck. Those of you who have been following my channel, you've never seen me play it because I haven't played it, but you've seen me play against it a lot. And generally, I'm always like, oh, I just needed one more mana to get through this, or oh, that they had to have the wasteland. And like that's exactly what this deck does. They just death by 1,000 cuts. They just nickel and dime you like, oh, there goes that lightning bolt. There goes those cantrips. Oh, now they're really gone. Sorry. Oh, you wanted a Oko to get you out of this? Get out of here. And they're just nickel and diming you along the way until you're dead. So
Yeah, this is a much more reactive deck than you might think at first. You see all these small white creatures, you expect them to turn sideways, when in reality, most of the time, Death and Taxes doesn't attack more than maybe 2 or 3 in any given turn cycle. Instead, they're looking to answer permanents with things like Flicker Wisp and Skyclave Apparition, and then grind things out with equipment over time.
yep. Yeah, exactly like Phil said. Like, you've seen me play against it a lot. Like, normally I take like 2 to 6 from Athalia, then I stabilize for a while, but I still can't attack because they have first strike, they have protection from blue, they have a 4/4, and then eventually, when everything is completely locked up, they put a flying creature into play and kill me with it. Like, that's usually how I lose the death and taxes. So, I'm excited to give this a shot, to be in the pilot seat. The way this is going to work is I'm going to try to come up with the line, and then Phil's going to tell me why I could do something better. So let's get into this and let's go play some matches. All right, so we are on the draw here in the first match. I see a keeper. I see a land in Aether Vial, but it's only the one land. Phil, what do you think about this one?
Snap it off. It's good.
All right.
Like
My,
you can't play this deck and throw back one land Vile Hands most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like anyone who watches my stuff, they know I keep any hand with Island and Ponder in it, and Aether Vial is kind of like Ponder, right? In the sense that it's really fucking good.
So we're most likely playing against a snow deck of some nature, although just fetch and pass is interesting.
Yeah, I'm suspicious AF of fetch and pass. And there's no. we're not gonna like respect Spell Pierce and lead on Mother, right? We just go for the
Oh
Aether
god.
Vial. All right, yeah.
So when you're playing a lot of blue decks, you often like have this time and the ability to play around stuff. When you're playing Death and Taxes, a lot of times you just have to play stuff out on curve. It's just kind of the reality of the deck.
Yeah, so our opponent is just like getting maximum F6 value, which so like they're just fetch on their turn, Coatl on their turn. What do they think we're gonna do? Oh, that land was beautiful.
Yeah, that's clutch.
Yeah, even if they force this Thalia or remove it, we got the backup. I did not need Phil's help to make that play. It was the only one available.
Yeah, there's a lot of times really nuanced conversations about when you don't hit that land drop, or like you do have the land drop and you have the ability to cast the Thalia, but you could wait one more turn and put it in uncounterably. And I'm sure we'll encounter some of those spots later on. Um, but this has kind of been a everything's real straightforward match so far.
Yeah, and I can see it playing out in my head already. Don't want to attack. Okay. Like we just put mom in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I imagine there are spots where you like dance around removal by like I don't know what you would do in that particular spot. I saw Steve Rubin make a really awesome play in a Star City Open one time where he had Vial on one and a Mother of Runes in hand for like 2 or 3 turns, and he would just activate the Vial and not put Mother of Runes in, and like his opponent had to guess around it, and then like 2 or 3 turns later, the opponent tapped out and he stuck the Mother in when the opponent wasn't holding up Lightning Bolt anymore. And like, I don't know how often those plays happen, but I definitely remember that as being really fucking cool.
Oh yeah, there are strange ether vial dances that can occur.
Yeah, so I think like at the end of this turn, I'm gonna activate Aether Vial and decline to put anything in. Just make them think about what 2 drops might be coming.
Yes, that makes sense with Violon 2 most of the time, but less so with Violon 3, because when you do that with Violon 3, you're dropping Flicker Wisp.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so it looks like we're not gonna have an Aether Vial next turn. I guess
They
maybe they
could, they
just
could
make
misplay. Oh, they
they did not
they saw the
misplay.
line.
All right, so the good news is that Oko just dies here because we have 5 power of attacking, and I'm gonna plow
Yeah,
this jerk. Yeah, that I mean not the worst, but now we suddenly need to hit a land drop where we didn't need to a second ago, and we know that resolves because we have Thalia. Hey,
beautiful.
money in the bank.
Get
All right.
used to the death and taxes life. You've got it.
Yep. All right. Maybe we don't need Phil here if I'm just gonna rip exactly what I need all the time. All right. Kill Oko. I'm doing some psychological warfare here because I missed a land drop last turn, and now I go to second main and sweat it. Aha, I found it, sucker. So do we I guess we just recruit here because we can't instant speed the Flicker Wisp anymore unless we want to reset the vial into an Aether Vial and not be an Elk anymore.
Probably not. The 3/3 body is pretty good right now, unless we get like a
Yeah.
Dead of Winter.
All right.
I
So,
would cast the Recruiter.
all right. What are we recruiting for?
You have a billion choices that are all approximately the same. If
Yeah,
you're
that
scared of another Oko, Skyclave Apparition is a safe pickup. If you want to try to lock the opponent out from draws, Spirit of the Labyrinth is fine. If you want to get value, Stoneforge Mystic is fine. The thing is, you have a Flicker Wisp, so if you make the wrong decision, you can just like pick the other one next turn.
fair
So
enough.
I'll leave it to you.
Okay. I think I like Stoneforge Mystic because we do have a Sword of Fire and Ice in the main here, and we have Mom in play already. And when I'm playing against this deck, it's always Sword of Fire and Ice that ruins me.
Yeah. So the funny thing is that more or less, no matter what you pick up, you're probably not playing it in the next turn cycle. You're probably just going to Flicker Wisp the Recruiter anyway.
Okay, yeah, I would not have made that play, so I'm glad you're here to narrate it. Are we gonna get Dead of Winter? Uh,
Yep.
can't do anything to save that. So I know how good that feels from the other side, so I can only imagine how happy they are. And it
Yeah,
does feel,
and the fact that they take the vial out with it as well is cool.
yeah. So I'm thinking Stoneforge and not Thalia here, or
That
do.
sounds correct to me.
All right, because we have the redundant copy, even if they remove it.
So what you're looking to do is rip another land so that next turn you can play a creature while also putting in a piece of equipment.
Right. Is Sword of Fire and Ice still the right one, or is Batterskull now better now that we don't have a ton of creatures to carry?
I mean, you do have a lot of creatures in hand. It's just slow.
Okay.
Batterskull pressures the opponent immediately, but will be much worse against something like an Ice Fang Coatl. So I would pick up the Sword of Fire and Ice.
All right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And like Uro is in this deck somewhere. We have a plow for it. Flicker Wisp is also like kind of an awkward but like reasonable thing to do to an Uro.
Yeah, you're not happy about it per se, but giving them life and cards is much better than just losing to a 6/6 that is an engine in and of itself.
Yeah, I am happy to let them draw three, like cast a growth spiral and gain 3 life, rather than they do that anyway and I take 6. So it's one of those take your medicine sort of things. Oh no, they lost connection to the game.
Strong.
Oh, they're back. All right.
Okay, to just like talk about something for a second while they're getting themselves situated again. So one of the things that happened here was our opponent both had the Black Source and the Dead of Winter in order to sort of like pull way ahead on this board. And if the opponent already had the Black Source in play when we were doing our fetching with Recruiter of the Guard, that might have changed our lines a little bit more. When we were very far ahead, it was kind of it's kind of whatever. They don't have the land for Dead of Winter, so they need two different cards in order to assemble that, like best case scenario for them. But now that we're behind, having a Skyclave Apparition in hand as an answer to an Oko that would be devastating on this board would be really cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oko is pretty scary right now.
Yeah, and like playing Death and Taxes in
Oh, what year is it? Uh, that's bad too.
Yep. Playing Death and Taxes in the Oko world prior to Skyclave Apparition was really miserable. Now you have plenty of outs to it in the deck.
Okay, so I'm thinking we go Thalia Stoneforge
I agree.
in that order.
Yeah, when you can play two creatures in a turn, Thalia is usually going to be the first one because if your opponent has any sort of spot removal spell, it just makes it more awkward for them.
Yep. Yeah, and I went with Batterskull. I don't think there's a real reason to get Umezawa's Jitte in this spot. I mean, a Jitte on a first strike creature is pretty cool. Oh, the second Dead of Winter. Fuck my life.
All right, now things are real bad. We're kind of in the like, let's draw a land, play a Batterskull, get the germ bounced, then flicker with the Batterskull sort of situation.
Oh my god.
Hey, it
I
happened.
All right. The nut draw. All right, they didn't have Force of Will right away. They've brainstormed twice without shuffling at all. Their hand must be stacked.
Yeah, that's it's usually not a great sign.
Okay, so I think I want to lead on Flicker Wisp and then play sort of Fire and Ice afterwards. Or is it
Well,
the other way?
which spell would you prefer to be countered?
Probably. I was when I said that I was thinking I'd prefer to have Sword in play, but Flicker Wisp was actually better.
Yeah,
So
the Flicker Wisp resolving puts two bodies in play and actually gives you a chance at resolving Jace.
all right, then I'll go for
Or
the
sorry, not
sword.
resolving Jace, killing Jace.
Yeah, they can just hard cast forces at this point too. Like they don't give a shit. There it is. They could not be baited.
Yeah, so now we've reached the stage of the game where we're probably 20% to win or something like that, but it may or may not be worth actually conceding yet.
Yeah,
and it's a
so
very small point of the game.
if we rip and resolve Skyclave Apparition, it can eat Jace, and then the board is at least stable. Like, I wouldn't feel bad about this situation if Jace wasn't also just burying us.
Yeah, correct.
Like Drago and
So
an empty board's fine.
we have 3 Skyclaves and 1 Recruiter to hit.
All right, so there's nothing to bluff, right? I can just put this land
You
into
should be
play.
playing out your lands because we're potentially going to get to worlds where we're trying to play a creature and equip it with Batterskull, or we're trying to bounce Batterskull and play it in the same turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce Batterskull in this end step. That's a free roll. Look at all those lands. I am much more familiar with being on the Jace side of this matchup, and I'm so jealous of what they're doing right now.
Yeah, a lot of times where D&T wins, you take an early hold on the game and then don't give it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have not done that. The double Dead of Winter is a complete beating.
Oof.
There goes that. So we're running out of reasonable win conditions. I guess I can't F6 because they could put Uro into play. So if they like evoke Uro, do I plow it on the front end? Is that how this works? Or do I make them escape it?
It's trickier and slightly more situational. Sometimes you don't want to plow it because you can just rip a Caracas and then like you can save that spell for something else.
Right. All right. So do I cast this Flicker Wisp like a body on board versus the potential to do something neat later? I probably just have to put the body on board, right?
You only have like 4 cards left in your deck that care about being bounced other than other copies of Flicker Wisp.
All right.
So this
We're
is like the anemic and sad 3/1 desperation play.
yeah, we're getting wispy. And I'll untap my land because there's nothing better to do with this thing.
Yeah. So you have two. We use 2 Stoneforgers, right?
Two Stone Forges are gone. There
Yeah. So
goes
we have
Flicker Wisp.
2 Stoneforge, 1 Recruiter, and 3 other Wisps that we would care about bouncing in the deck as of right now.
Right. Yeah, and I am still getting used to just drawing for the turn, and that's what you get. Like there is no brainstorm coming to save me here. Leo of Old. Well, I have Caracas. Maybe I can deck them.
Yeah, Caracas and Leovold is real awkward. You maybe don't want to give them a card.
Really? All right. Uh, all right. I mean, this might sound completely outrageous, but like they have been furiously activating Jace. Everything they do cantrips. Is Leovold optional? Like, is it you may draw a card? Oh, it is. Nope, can't deck them. All right. Is it time to concede
This
yet?
is probably time to concede.
All right. I'll F6 and let them finish their turn, just to see if we can get a little more information. Knowing that they have Leovold is kind of interesting. They may or may not have it post board. I guess it's still pretty good against Rishadenport and Wasteland.
It's it's an awkward card from on both sides of the table. Like it's kind of a bad threat because it's not reliable, but it protects you kind of against wasteland stuff. But it's hard to cast, especially if you're getting ported in the first place.
All right. I'm not going to show them that we have Sanctum Prelate. Like, I mean, they're going to assume that it's in there somewhere, but I don't want it in the front of their mind. All right, what are we doing here? This is the hard part. Uh, I
Yes.
I think we want Gideon, Skyclave, Apparition, Sanctum Prelate, Council's Judgment. Uh, do we bring in Rest in Peace just for Uro? Does Cage do that? Do we? All right, I'm becoming less sure. So I think these are the things we definitely want. These are the
Okay.
maybes, and these are what are not in my mind right now.
Okay. Cage, I lean towards a no on as a piece of graveyard hate. Like if that gets destroyed later or elked in any number of ways, they have access to their graveyard again.
Right,
So if you want to be playing graveyard hate, something like Rest in Peace is probably going to do you better.
makes sense.
Of the cards you've selected here, of those seven, I'd say all of them, but the Prelate are probably good things to be bringing in.
Okay,
Sanctum Prelate is kind of awkward in the matchup because they have cards at so many different converted mana costs that you kind of care about.
right. So what? So do we want the rest in peace, or is it just like if we want graveyard hate? Like, is that part of this
The
matchup?
community is divided on that. It's sort of an on the fence thing.
All right. So I think
I
Jate comes
usually
out.
bring them in, but it's okay not to.
All right. I'm gonna do what you want to do here. So I think Jate comes out, right?
Yep,
All right.
that's fine.
Uh, does the main deck prelate leave?
I would agree with that.
All right. We need four more cuts here. We're not touching apparition, obviously. Um, do we always need all four Thalias?
No, but Thalia is pretty good.
Okay.
A lot of times, my strategy for these post sideboard games is to board out some number of X1 creatures in respect of Plague Engineer in particular.
Okay.
So
Uh,
a lot of times that actually means boarding out something like Mother of Runes.
ooh. Okay. Yeah, I guess they do have a bunch of sweepers. Do you board out several or all of
You
them?
you can you can pull out all four.
All right, that's interesting. I would have never in my life done that. So I'm glad we have the expert here. All right, that's a 60 card deck. Um, let's do it.
Yeah, the Swords to Plowshares are also something that some people will trim on in this matchup. Um, but let's talk about this hand, I guess.
All
What
right.
do you think?
I mean, I don't see a mulligan. Like this is, Thalia, Stoneforge, Flicker Wisp. It does stuff.
Yep,
Uh,
I agree. This is an unexciting, not particularly powerful hand that you can't throw back.
yep. Yeah. When you live the mono white no brainstorm life, this is what you keep. I'm really enjoying F6ing every turn though, just not having to hold up priority every time it's offered to me. That's kind of a relief.
Yeah, try playing like Red Prison. Then,
Oh
oh,
yeah, you could just leave the room. All right, so we can. I think Thalia's got to be better, right?
yeah. You probably want to. Oh well,
Did I want to play Caracas or Rashad Port there?
you probably wanted to put Rashad into play. That way, if your opponent plays a non-basic land on their turn, you can Rashad the island and wasteland the non-basic.
Okay, yep. I thought of that as I was clicking the planes. Like there's some version of this where I can like port them and still hold up Caracas to protect my Thalia. So all right, now we just Stoneforge Mystic, keep the party going.
That's a fine line. The other thing you can do is just pass and port one of their lands so that they can't just play an Oko.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because if you play Stoneforge and then your opponent plays Oko, you probably end up in the much worse position.
Yep, I'm gonna take them off blue.
Sounds good. And we don't care if they brainstorm in their upkeep. It's a less than optimal brainstorm. They're using their mana, but if they use this now, they're not using it 5 turns from now when they have more crap in their hand.
Yep, that is a bad brainstorm. I'm not saying they're bad for doing it, but we forced them into a bad brainstorm. They had to redraw one of those brainstormed back cards. Like they brainstorm, put two back, draw for turn one of them, and then they fetch away the last one, which is not what you want to be doing. All right, so
Yeah,
now
and so now we can play the Stoneforge while continuing to port.
right. All right, Stoneforge resolves. Do we get Feast and Famine or Fire and Ice here? Uh, Fire and Ice is better on the empty board, but Feast and Famine is better in the context of them doing anything.
They're pretty similar. I might get the Feast and Famine though.
All
It's
right,
just going to be better against the random blockers that our opponent might get as this game goes really long.
sounds good. Is there any reason to take them off double blue, or should I just take them off white here?
Double blue would just be like Court or Uro flashback.
Okay, I'm gonna
So you
take them
can,
off white.
yeah.
I would love for them to cast Court of Cunning. I have a creature and they do not. All right, so they just have nothing. All right, so I think the basic planes is still better. Like I want to hide these techie lands so they don't know to
Yep.
play around them. So I think we Stoneforge in Sword and then Wisp
Mhm.
it, or do I just pass and end step and try to connect?
You're more or less fine doing it on your main phase here. If you get an elk out of that sword, that's not the end of the world, since hopefully you're getting another piece of equipment as well.
Right.
But I think that's fine.
We just lose the ability to port is the only wild card.
Yeah, the
Or
difference between 2 and 3 is huge, and the difference between like 3 and 4 is smaller.
okay, so I think I should Flicker Wisp first, and once I know that resolves, then put this
Yeah, you
in.
can put in the Stoneforge afterwards. Yeah, and this allows you to leave up the Rashad port for a little while.
Right. So they can like there's not even all right, now that that's being targeted, I can activate this. Put that one in, and do we get the trigger? There's not really anything they could do about it. Like they have 2 blue available. They would have to fetch a white source.
We also don't think they have Swords to Plowshares in their hand currently.
Yeah, yeah. I think they would have cracked it off last turn. All right. So I like getting. So we're kind of threat light here at this point. And Batterskull is a threat. But or do we want to snowball here and make them respect every creature for the rest of the game with double sword?
I like the Batterskull.
Okay.
I agree with your assessment. One of the worst things that can happen is like we get double removal spelled on this board, or we get board wiped a turn or two down the line.
All right. Looks like they're kind of scrambling here. The main phase Coatl, miss your land drop. None of that's what they wanted to do. Oh, I should have ported their white in the upkeep. I fucked that up.
Yeah, that's maybe not the best use of your mana anyway.
All
Like
right.
if you're going to equip the sword for 2, then that's the same amount as porting would have been.
Okay. So, but the difference is if I take them off white in the upkeep, then I know I'm not going to get plowed in combat.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I will play this plains and see how tricky we can get here. Let's see if I blew it. Ooh, looks like I didn't blow it. All right,
Great.
so I'm going to hold priority.
Yeah, so you can let the damage happen, and then with the
Right.
trigger on the stack, you can port them and also activate Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep. That all sounds pretty good to me. Yep. So they discard a card. I untap all my lands. Yeah, I was just gonna say, what if they discard Uro? I kind of wish I had Caracas, but I guess it doesn't matter. Like I'm gonna port them again, and I have Swords to Plowshares. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it would be
tap their
taking
green.
green.
Yeah, for sure. Snake army. This sort of Feast and Famine's pretty good.
Yeah, it is tech more or less specifically for this matchup.
Right. I am gonna upkeep port the white source this time. They've drawn 2 cards since the last time they didn't have plow. So I can port white in their upkeep and still
Then
have
you,
mana available to equip Batterskull to the Flicker Wisp.
yep.
All right, yeah, I've been on the receiving end of this enough that I'm seeing these lines. Yeah, I think they may have like drawn the Miracle Plow. Yep, they drew the Miracle Plow and then right then they realized it's not going to do what they needed to.
It sure isn't. That's a
All right.
great pickup too.
Yeah. All right. So I'd rather have Caracas in play. Oh, right. This only costs 2 now instead of 5 that I was expecting it to. Uh, I guess I might as well run this out.
Yeah, that's a card we want in play. We want that theoretically to be ticking up to 3.
Yeah, I just meant the difference between main phase or second main. Like because they're about to discard a card.
I see.
Like, what if
As
they
far as I'm
discard a
concerned,
counter
if they
spell?
use any card to interact with our vial here, that's a win for us.
They even had the force and didn't use it on the vial, so that's cool. All right, I'm gonna port their green again, and now we have the Stoneforge Mystic plus Batter Skull plus 5 mana combo Reno.
Yep, it's a classic for anyone not
Uh,
familiar with it. You activate Stoneforge, you hold priority, you bounce the Batter Skull, and then you get your Batter Skull back into play.
yep, beautiful. All right, does sideboarding change on the play and draw?
It can, but I don't know that we will want to do that with this exact 75.
Yeah, it seems like it doesn't really matter. Like, I played Death and Taxes in Modern when I won the Star City Envy, and I remember writing in my tournament report like my sideboard plans never changed on the player draw; they were just better on the play.
While that's not 100% true in Legacy, it's pretty close to true.
So you mentioned the plows can be wiggled with. Like, is there anything that we might want more than plow number 4, or do we always just want to be able to answer the thing? Because this
So
this deck
if
can't
you're
dig.
going to drop answers to Plague Engineer and Resolved Uro, you can play a Walking Ballista, which can ping Planeswalkers or Ice Fang Coatls, or you can play a couple of Sanctum Prelates.
All right, I'm pretty sure I just like the plows. Just I got called out on one of my videos. I tried turbo depths, and I was doing like the I'll shave one plow and put in one prelate, and somebody commented, "You're boarding like you have cantrips in your deck. Like you can't dig for a 3 of or a 1 of. Like if you want Swords of Plowshares in your deck, you play 4 so you have it when you want it." And I think that is a pretty good point, and it applies here as well. So I'm gonna resist the urge to go to like 3 plows and 1 Sanctum Prelate because it just doesn't make sense. All right,
Yeah, there's one slight difference here, and that's Recruiter of the Guard's presence makes it so that boarding in a one of
right,
actually means you see it 3 times as
yeah,
often.
yeah. So you can actually find these at will. I think I still wanna. Actually, I think you just talked me into it. I think 1 Prelate. If we can name 3 and turn off Oko and Dead of Winter, like if we can wiggle that into place. I don't know, but we boarded out the moms. Maybe that doesn't even make sense. Whatever. I hit submit. It's done.
Yeah, it's fine.
This looks like Browntown.
One.
Yeah, this is a classic Death and Taxes hand of it can never cast a spell, so these vials better work, but good thing we have 2 of them. Uh,
Yes, the second vial is a really big deal here because we're on the draw, and if we didn't have the second one, then one abrupt decay just like ruins his hand. Never mind, we're great.
all right, yeah, yeah. Gucci, baby. All right, so now the question is, do we put Vial 2 online, or do we start porting them immediately and put Vial 2 into play on turn 3?
That is a good question. So the thing you're always concerned about in this matchup is them naturally having the turn 3 Oko. Because anytime that happens, you're kind of in bad shape.
Right.
But we do have a Skyclave apparition in hand. So we can answer an Uro that hits play eventually. We don't have the second white source to cast it on curve.
Oh, rip. Um, so I'm kind of into porting their porting them and just playing a little slower with the second vial because we only have the one creature in hand. Like
Yep, I'm good with
these
that.
vials aren't going to be dumping on anyone. Right.
So with a rest in peace in play, the snow deck actually has a really hard time closing the game versus death and taxes because so often they're looking to end the end game via attacking for 6 about 3 times.
Right. All right. I'm going after green to turn off abrupt decay. Uh, Most of their cantrips are instants anyway. Maybe that was wrong, but that was my
I also
thought.
would have gone after the green for the same
Okay.
reason you did.
All right. Yeah, this fetch land only makes basic colors that they already have. So Wasteland stock just went up. I would really like to hide my ability to Wasteland them. Oh my
Oh,
god. Oh.
oh yeah,
All right. So I'm going to use Wasteland to cast Aether Vial,
sounds good.
and I'm going to port them in their upkeep. I think I'm going after green again.
Yeah, a lot of times the play patterns are such where if you start attacking a color, you want to continue to attack that color because you want to continue to keep them from casting that one card,
Right.
whatever it is.
Yeah, and they fetched another blue. So basically, the only thing they can do with 2 blue is cantrip and
Yep. Here we go.
skadoosh. Too bad.
Oh,
They know what we're up to. uh, what a mastermind play it would have been if we just let Ponder resolve to eat the brainstorm. I don't think they would have made the same
don't
play
try
though.
that at home, kids.
All right, fuck your Ponder.
Yeah. The cool thing is this ponder has probably just been reduced to a shuffle.
Yep, they chose to shuffle. They shuffled away those brainstorm cards. They used an actual card to do it. That's much worse than just cracking a fetch land, let me tell you. All right, so this is the. All right, we're putting counters on both, right? We have a 3 in hand. We'll get the other up to 2 eventually. All right, so we can get this rest in peace into play, or we can plow this idiot and start attacking. Uh, we can port them either way. I guess
You're
we
not
could.
in any hurry with a rest in peace. Like
Okay,
you don't need that in play yet. I would just plow and get in there.
all right, that makes sense.
We
The
need this spirit of labyrinth to like just keep attacking turn after turn after turn right now.
Right. So okay, so they forced. Do I apparition this Coatl and get in?
No. They just pitched an Oko, which probably means that they have a second because Oko is just one of the best cards in the matchup.
Okay.
So we're just gonna hang out for a while.
Yep. Continue porting. Yeah, so we've effectively taken them off blue by having Spirit of the Labyrinth in play. Oh, bummer. So lucky. All right, let's see if they have Oko. See if you had the stone read on that. There it is.
It's like I've played this matchup once or twice.
Yeah, damn. Create a food token. All right,
Oh,
so
beautiful.
yeah, they didn't even mess with our shit. Okay, so you can put a creature card into play. Is there any reason to eat Coatl and attack Oko? It doesn't kill it, but is
No,
that am I
you want that Oko dead.
okay?
Like
All right,
there can be no risks. That thing needs to die. It will make your life miserable
okay,
otherwise.
all right, fair. All right, leave this one on 3 and bring this one up to 2. All right, not great, but I guess we can get this rest in peace in now.
Yep.
It's not doing anything.
No, it's not doing anything right now. but long term it is doing something.
Yeah, yeah. Like they can't surprise me with an Uro at this point.
So at this stage, you might want to switch to blue, actually, because our opponent has shown us a Jace the Mind Sculptor in game one.
That makes sense.
Our opponent has used up 2 Okos at this stage, and Uro is largely invalidated by Rest in Peace.
Yep, and
So
Spirit of the Labyrinth. And all
oh,
right.
this feels good.
Does it though? Are they going to abrupt decay in response? Oh, they're going to plow in response. All right.
Yeah, our opponent is making some like good plays. Like
Yeah,
props
they're,
to them.
they're working hard to find those little edges. Yeah,
So
forcing that. I'm just leaving these where they are, right?
so Brian, you might want to just click on those. You can click always yield and always no.
All right. Always no to triggered ability and always yield. So they're just going to stay there forever.
So that one you'll also have to click always no on,
Okay.
and then they'll just stay on those numbers. You'll have to put them on the stack in your upkeep, but you won't have to like click through adjusting them anymore.
Oh, nice. Flicker Wisp is a good card to have around.
Yep, that's our safety net right now.
All right, now we're holding this. This Coatl has been a nightmare. Like, they, if that Swords to Plowshare is resolved, like force pitching Oko probably felt bad for them when it happened, but I mean, they would be basically dead. All right, so they have another one.
Yep, we're just hanging out, having a good
Yep,
time.
chilling. Do I run out the second Rest in Peace just in case?
Sure. It eliminates some of the I'm just going to abrupt decay this. It makes your bluffs a little bit worse, but like these sorts of decks don't play any weird scour glass type card that is just going to wipe everything.
Yeah. Plow. Do we wisp here? I imagine we
If
do.
you wisp, you can end up taking away the Ice Fang Coatl and start getting some attacks in.
Is taking
Well,
Coatl better than taking Astrolabe?
well, you don't have to make that decision now. So like you wisp and save it, but it's not going to come back until later.
Oh, right, right. Okay, so I think we want to save it.
Yeah.
All right, Wisp. They get a 3/3 out of the deal.
Yeah, we don't super care about the 3/3. Like having another turn where they can't put a card that matters into play and then eating their flyer so that we can actually get in there with this wisp instead of being stalled is totally fine.
All right, so do we think that? Yeah, I guess they would have cast the other Coatl if they had it. Like my read was Coatl last turn, but it was actually Plow. That's why they felt comfortable attacking, and they still had 2 mana up at the end. They could have still Coatled. So I'm pretty convinced they don't have one, or didn't, but they did just cast Brainstorm. So no blocks. We take 4. This eats Coatl. That's what we want to do.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Drawing a piece of equipment this turn would be so hot, just by the way.
Yeah, let's do it. Sword of Fire and Ice. Let's go. All right, I'll take that too.
That's pretty good. Now we can just kill that token.
Right. Did they find a Coatl? They did. All right, so do we let them go to blocks, I guess, and then flicker? Or
Well,
I guess,
what do you want to flicker?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like, I'm not going to flicker the Coatl and get in for 5 because that doesn't matter. So I guess we go to blocks. and then
I
see
think
what
we're
they do.
trading a body and then using the Flicker Wisp to get rid of their 3/3 token.
Okay, them blocking Flicker Wisp makes me a lot happier with that deal. I was worried about them trading off with Apparition, then they have 5 power in play, and they're winning the race.
Yep, we forgot to port there.
Oh shit, yeah, I was busy talking. Uh, fuck. Uh, alright, I'll get them with a port some other way. Yep, like I said in the deck tech, this is the hardest deck to play optimally. Also, it's a hard deck to play quickly.
Yes.
Alright, so do I do it now to get rid of this, or do I just see what they do with their second main?
I take the 3. I would
Yeah,
port them mid combat though.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, just in case they have the Oko, the third Oko. Alright, so now we get rid of token.
You might want to tap the vial on 2 first.
Oh, too late.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things that's a good habit to form because cards like Containment Priest are totally reasonable sideboard cards.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that also, like, we saw them brainstorm in response to a Violent 2 before. They could have just, like, forced that action. Ooh. Let's see if they do it. Okay, so, I mean, attacks are attacks here.
Yep, just send them. Removal spells are going to be good at us at this stage of the game, but
Alright,
it's more likely that our opponent just eats food this turn.
I like that. Hungry little opponent over there.
So this is the stage of the game where we really just have to hope that our opponent doesn't have a Dead of Winter.
Right. That card's pretty good.
We're also at the stage of the game where we'll want to start thinking about wastelanding a fetch land if our opponent plays a cantrip.
Yeah, that was in my mind. Shit. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, and we even gave them a 2/2 after the Wrath. What a delight.
Yep, feels bad.
That I guess there is some value to bluffing.
Yeah, you will want to wasteland their Underground Sea.
Oh yeah. That does make a lot of sense. All right. Yeah, I'll waste that too.
Yep.
That was a weird time to do that. But did they know what the top of their deck was? Like, had they brainstormed recently? I don't think so. Like, that was just a weird fetch. Maybe they forgot they were out of basics.
Yeah, I mean, we're both low-ish on clock.
Yeah.
So we're not quite at panic time yet, but we are at like it's time to start doing some shortcutting.
Yeah, I've F6'd even though I am bluffing Aether Vial. So I'm just off of that entirely.
Yeah. And so now we see the point of the game where this rest in peace actually gives us great value.
Yeah, this is huge now. This, I guess I play it.
Yep, just play it. If for nothing else for the F6 value.
Yeah. Then I'll continue the porting and get my F6 on. Yeah, so now these vials are bananas. Oh no. All right, we
That's
boarded
not
out
a
a lot of
bad.
the humans.
Yeah. And this is a rarity, this exact card, but Plague Engineer is very common. So this is exactly why I board out moms in this matchup.
Yeah, actual engineered plague is spicy. Now we start drawing humans. Nope. Yeah, this is such a tease. Like we are so close. Like Vile, we have Vile on 2 and 3. If we just find like Recruiter for Stoneforge or something here, that would be so sexy.
Yeah, we might be at the like if we rip a recruiter, we're probably actually going recruiter or recruiter for Flicker Wisp or something like that.
Well,
No,
the
I guess
the
Flicker
recruiters
Wisp.
aren't bodies anymore.
Yeah,
Recruiter, Stoneforge, a human, great.
yeah.
I
This happens sometimes.
I think I
Like
should be tapping blue now. I thought of this last turn, because like if they want to cantrip twice, I want them to tap their Astrolabe.
yeah,
I don't know how much that matters, but it's not nothing.
yeah. I would have been going for the blue the last few turns as well,
Okay,
but
yeah.
at this point, it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, none of it matters unless we draw something viable. Uh,
Deck, please.
yeah. Come on, deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is also a reason why I'm not just like grinding D&T leagues all the time anymore. These matches versus snow are so slow.
yeah, this sucks. I'll take that Tundra and then get my F6 value. Yeah. Oh God, they had the Caracas. They got me with the Tundra. Now this engine's online.
Yep.
If we can answer this illusion, though, I think we're gonna be winning on clock, because they've been taking game actions and we haven't the last several turns. Come on.
Hey, now we can bounce it too.
I can port their Caracas now.
Yeah. But we have to draw a creature
Yes, we are
next
dead on
turn,
board.
and our opponent has to also not have a removal spell in their 5, maybe 6 cards.
Yep.
A really cool draw would be like the Council Judgment or a Skyclave Apparition to take the Engineered Plague off the table, and then the Thalia is like a live card again.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or it's time for Gideon. He doesn't make humans. It's knight allies, right?
Yes.
All right, deck. Show me the fireworks right now. Wrong fireworks. All right. Dead Zos. Yeah, we did so much and so little at the same time. The engineered plague was in fact a beating. All right, we're on the draw for round number 2. This is looks like another one of those isn't great, but we don't ship it hands. What do you think, Phil?
This one is a borderline mulligan. So your mana denial is much worse on the draw, and you don't really have anything to leverage your mana denial. Like you'll have a Mother of Runes in play that can't attack. It might be better to ship this one for
All
a
right.
hand with an Vial or an early bear.
Okay. This hand looks much better. We have double Stoneforge. No mana denial of any kind, or acceleration or protection, though. Is this one a keep?
Oh, this is absolutely a keep.
All right, what do you bottom? I'm thinking Caracas, but I can see an argument for Flicker Wisp as just the most expensive card. I don't know. What do you think?
I tend to err on the side of keeping my lands because I tend to have more to do with my mana than my opponents.
Okay.
Flicker Wisp is weaker without Vial, and Swords to Plowshares is dead in many matchups. I'd be looking at bottoming one of Swords or Flicker Wisp.
Yeah, so how bad is it for us if they are just like Delver and we bottom the plow versus like they're both bad against combo, so that doesn't matter. Uh, Wisp
If
is
you
good
want to
against.
respect Delver more, you 100% should get rid of the Flicker Wisp.
All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm also gonna try to avoid 90-second mulligan decisions in the future with this deck. Conversation's good. I get so nervous about the clock all the time.
Yeah, D&T leagues are not fast.
Oh, did we have the soul read? Well, they're either they're some combo deck or Rug Delver. Those are the only decks that play Tropical Island right now. Or the only decks that would lead on Tropical Island anyway. The snow decks have one. They did not
Yeah,
shuffle. Uh, do I play? No, I guess if they cast Show and Tell, I can just put the Caracas in. Oh, I should have played Snow Plains to at least like pretend I'm something else.
yeah, that's technically correct, but you know,
Yeah, I don't think
when
it
your
matters much.
planes go either way, you're usually like, all right, I know what's up.
Yep, I would not be fooled. Okay, they're a combo deck. Prismatic Vista and Tropical Island only coexist in Show and Tell, pretty much.
It wouldn't be unfathomable for a snow deck to play a tropical
Oh yeah,
island,
I guess
right?
they could still be a snow deck,
Yeah,
but a snow deck would have to be pretty hard up to play Tropical Island on turn one, just in the blind. Like, I do everything I can to avoid getting wastelanded, but maybe they're
yes,
just not as comfortable as me, or maybe they kept a land ponder hand that was bananas otherwise. Verdant Catacombs is suspicious. Maybe they are just like some bug deck.
yeah, we are probably playing against a blue soup deck of some nature. In which case, it's just like gas that we
Ooh.
naturally drew with the Batter Skull.
Yeah, so I get to sneak this Aether Vial in and surprise them with the Batter Skull they don't know about.
Yeah. So for anyone not used to how this math is going to work out, we're going to use our 2 mana this turn to put in the Batter Skull, and then all 4 of our mana next turn to equip it with Sword of Fire and Ice, and then we're going to get 8 damage in and draw a card and gain 6 life. It's pretty hot.
Yeah, this is nasty if it all works.
Yeah, like there's so many different things that can go wrong, but it has to be permanent based interaction. We're going to dodge counter spells for the next few turns pretty easily.
Yep. All right, they can get Death Touch now. We still don't care though. And the Aether Vial is cool. Like that might even bait. Like I guess it's kind of awkward that they know about Sword of Fire and Ice. I was about to say like maybe we can bait a like Abrupt Decay, but they're more worried about Sword of Fire and Ice now than they are about Aether Vial, I promise. So they will not be fooled.
And then next turn, we can also dump in an uncounterable Jitte if that's the thing that we want to do.
All right, so I mean I'm making the move.
Yeah, like make them show you a removal spell of some nature. It's a very high tempo Swords to Plowshares for them. But if they have it, we still have 2 pieces of equipment on board.
And they have to fetch a dual land to cast Swords of Plowshares. They have no Astrolabe, and those fetch lands don't do that. Yeah, they missed their chance to Assassin's Trophy. They can still Abrupt Decay the Germ. Yeah, this looks like an Abrupt Decay. Let's see if they go after the Germ or the Sword. I would probably go after the Sword. Yep.
I would go after the sword as well. The combat mana is like, and math is still going to work out well for us. We have mana for Swords to Plowshares plus Jitte equip next turn.
Yeah. Oh, they're alluring.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
no.
We might have just died.
Yeah, I think we're dead. Eternal Witness. I guess I can just F6 at this point.
No, you shouldn't because you have a Stoneforge Mystic you can cast.
Uh, no, I don't. Vial's on one.
You can cast Allurin.
Oh, right. Good call. This is why we keep Phil around.
Yeah, so this matchup is really weird in that like you can cast instant speed flicker wisps to try to like flicker an Allurin out of play at weird times.
Oh, Lauren. All right, so they're passing the turn, but that does not mean that they've fizzled. Like they can just go off whenever. But
Um, yeah, I suppose that's true. They would probably keep going on their turn though.
I would think so. Like there's good odds they fizzled, but it's not guaranteed.
They don't want to give us another draw for cards that are relevant. So if they could keep going, they probably should.
All right, so we're gonna put in this Umezawa's Jitte. Do I put it on Stoneforge Mystic instead of Batterskull?
Yeah, probably. That Stoneforge has basically no value to us.
All right, and then I think against Aloran, we just sit here with counters on, and that can be disruptive to their combo.
Can. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not excited about it, but having Plow plus 2 Jitte counters, the goose is loose.
Yeah, Plow plus 2 Jitte counters is a good amount of disruption, and if we can turn that into 4 Jitte counters next turn, like great.
Yeah, they're tapping mana. Oh, they're doing this.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen this build of Allurin before.
Yeah, wow. All right, so I'm gonna go for it here. I'm gonna Plow in their end step, and then minus attack with 2 creatures, try to take the Monarch.
All right. We'll see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, it probably won't, but like they can flash in blockers. Uh, I want to put this up to 3 in case we draw Flicker Wisp.
Sure, but we also could just cast that. Just keep it in mind. Like we don't want to if we don't have to, but it's a thing we're allowed to do.
Cast Flicker Wisp, you mean?
Yeah, just like cast it at instant speed.
That makes sense. That is allowed, technically speaking. All right, which one of us is dead?
They have so many potential chump blockers, but even if we get chump blocks this turn, if we can take a few bodies off the table, that's great.
Oh no, they had it. The trophy. Oh, they're
Oh,
hitting Jitte?
Monarch though.
No
That's big.
respect. All right, so we get to be the Monarch. Uh,
Play it out.
yeah, I play this. Um,
I
waste.
don't know that we need to wasteland them for any reason. Like our mana might be more valuable for things like recruiter chains or bouncing and re-equipping Batterskull and things of
Right,
that nature.
and I can flash in this mom.
Something small to keep in mind for the rest of this game, when possible, we're going to want to be holding up our Caracas specifically for Uro-based reasons.
Okay, that makes
If our
sense.
opponent has Court of Cunning, they probably want to mill themselves into an Uro.
Yep, they did mill themselves. Surprise.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like Aether Vial. Everyone is Aether Vial. They went after the germ. Okay,
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just equip.
yeah. Okay, so no for this one and yes for the other one. Honestly, clicking through Aether Vial upkeep triggers is the most time-consuming part of this deck. Equip. I'm still the Monarch.
Yeah, it feels good to be the monarch. Um,
All right,
nice.
that's gonna
Just to
be.
talk about another interaction here that could have come up, you did have the option there to equip Mother of Runes, and then Mother of Runes attacks him, but Mother of Runes is vigilant,
Oh,
so she'll
right.
still have the opportunity to tap to protect something.
I guess I was thinking if I equip Mom and they like abrupt decay Mom, she can save herself, but I lose the Batterskull swing.
Yeah, so like it's not necessarily a like this is right versus that is wrong sort
Do
of
I
thing.
want to pick this up or just let it be an elk? I mean, it's a lethal attack, right?
I think we let it be an elk. We have a lethal attack on board
Yeah,
plus
plus the three in hand.
the labyrinth as well.
I guess I want to hit some of their lands. Like
So
I can take them off abrupt decay here before I go cast my creature in the end step.
sounds good.
I guess it doesn't matter because I have Mother of Runes, but I can at least check my boxes there. It's gonna get dazed. Fuck my life. This deck doesn't play dazed, no way. All right, we beat Alurin. We beat a resolved Alurin. Okay,
Okay,
so
that's really good because the this is a very bad matchup.
for sure. So I think Relic Warder. Um, we probably want these. We want Prelate. Just put that on 4 forever. That can answer. Do we want Council's Judgment? Like the number of times they're going to pass the turn with Alurin in play seem low. We can at least Violent Apparition.
Council's Judgment is medium. It's another answer to Oko, which is probably a big deal, but
Okay,
Council's Judgment is going to suck against a lot of the rest of their deck.
right. Do we want the Rest in Peace? We think they're an Uro deck, but uh, we can beat Uro. Fair.
So, way to approach sideboarding for this matchup is probably figure out what you don't want and figure out how many cards you have to board out and then board in a matching number.
All right. What do we not want? Um,
So Swords to Plowshares would be the first thing that I would be looking at cutting. Our opponent's deck is full of value-oriented creatures, so there's very few things that we actually want to point the Swords to Plowshares at.
that makes sense. All of the equipments were good. I want Feast and Famine. Do we just go up to 4 weapons?
This might be a time where we play for the like all of them do different things that can potentially be important at different stages of this game.
Right. Um, how about Thalia? Do we need all 4 of her?
Uh, when we're on the draw, Thalia is a little awkward. When we're on the play, delaying a Lurin for a turn is big game.
All right. I still respect her, but I don't know that we need 4. All right.
You should
One
probably be looking at trimming a Flicker Wisp or two. It's very hard to flicker something on their side of the battlefield that matters.
right. Uh, okay. So should I cut another Flicker Wisp and get in one of these Rest in Pieces or a Surgical Extraction, or do
Well,
we?
I would put the Gideon
Oh, Gideon.
because like, historically that's the sort of thing that's very good against like slow bug decks, right? It's just something that can generate value multiple times, that sort of stuff.
Okay, so we're planning to beat a bug deck and planning to beat an Alurin combo deck here. I guess that is how we have to play.
To clarify, we're planning to beat a bug deck and we're planning to lose to a combo deck.
Okay, all right. Uh, Spirit of the Labyrinth is pretty good. That does brick a lot of their combo, like at least their snowball potential. Like I actually think that their combo requires them the ability to draw cards.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
They can gain infinite life without it, but they can't draw their deck, which I guess is just as bad for Death and
Uh,
Taxes.
I guess there's some like parasitic Strix based situations that can kill you without drawing cards, but they have to like already have everything.
Right, yeah. Usually the plan is to bounce their Uro infinitely, and then they have their whole deck in their hand, and then they Strix you. So if we can slow that down at all, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, Death and Taxes struggles with creature-based combo decks. Elves being a classic example of a deck where a lot of our disruption is just dodged.
Oh yeah,
Um, Lauren and Food Chain are kind of similar in that regard, although the matchups are slower and more fair. So we have more game here.
right. Yeah, sticking this mom is nice. They did show us both Abrupt Decay and Assassin's Trophy in game one. And if I can stick this spirit with some protection, that's nice. They went for an aggro brainstorm in response to mom. I suspect, like, the only reason to do that is if you're looking for, okay, an answer to mom. And they found one, but she did the lightning rod thing. Oh no. Is this a decision we make or do we just jam spirit?
We just jam Spirit.
Okay.
Probably play a port.
All right.
So Spirit of the Labyrinth is a hate bear that the earlier in play, the more damage potential it
Right.
has. And if you just go Vile Pass and your opponent plays Oko, like you have lost this game.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so I think I want to vial and port here.
Yes, and I
Uh,
don't think we're attacking this turn.
no, they've shown me many coatls.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that like takes a while to learn. Just because you have a creature that can attack doesn't mean that attacking is good. That's like one of the big death and taxes lessons that takes a while to learn because the risks of like losing one of your hate bears in combat are sometimes just so high.
Right.
Also, Brian, your viewers they're getting their bang for their buck on this YouTube video,
Yeah.
seeing as like, they're paying you pennies on the dollar for those ads, and like we're probably 2 hours into this video or pretty close to it by the end of this match.
Yeah, that game one was pretty quick. It was only like 17 minutes. So, uh, I guess it depends where we go from here. I'll show them what's what.
You can put in that new legend, the zero drop that has a couple of keywords on it.
Oh yeah, wow. That would actually be insane with Jitte if it had even a single point of power. This attack indicates to me they have Baleful Strix in their hand. Oh, Harpy. Okay. So they're gonna just, fair and square. There's the Harpy. All right, so I can deploy these two things, or I could port twice. I feel like
So
deploying is worth it.
deploying at least one card here seems really important.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Stoneforge, but like, I just don't think that they can win with the Spirit of the Labyrinth in play. So, all right, I want Sword of Blue because
I
all
agree.
all of
Sort
their
of blue.
creatures are blue. So I guess if they stick an Aloran, I can flash in Spirit. Like they have to answer the Spirit and have Aloran before they can combo off.
Yeah, I think we're porting a green source with the rest of our mana here.
All right, yeah,
So
that's
we're
fine.
going to make them have green source plus Allurin plus combo pieces plus answer to Spirit of the Labyrinth. And if they have all of that, like,
Good job.
yeah, you win.
Well played.
Yeah.
And they
So
don't
the
know about
awkward thing
Jitte.
here. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I was just going to say they don't know about Jitte, so I could surprise them if they take a line that is good against Sword of Fire and Ice. But the both weapons need to be on the same creature because Harpy can block bounce. All right, what's your plan now? Oko.
All right.
I mean, okay, it resolves. I'm like looking at it like I have a choice.
They're gonna like turn the pithing needle into a dude.
Uh,
What's up here? Are you gonna blank the spirit?
Oh, I wish I
This
had
is
another.
this is a really interesting line because this results in the Oko dying to known information.
Yeah, but I guess like if they have a Lauren plus the combo in hand, then the spirit would have got them.
Yeah,
So
I think we have to kill the Oko, and we hope that a Viled-in Spirit of the Labyrinth can disrupt them if they have Alurin.
they have Piddling Needle.
Oh shit, shit, shit.
Yeah. So maybe I just juke with the Jitte here, but they can just alk it. So I think I guess I just have to sort of Fire Nice. And do I just put it on Spirit and attack Oko, or do I put it on Stoneforge Mystic and attack face and shock the Oko? Or I could also just no, I can't just cast Spirit because they have the
So
Oko.
if we cast this sword and they have a counter spell, it's relatively catastrophic. But if we cast it and they have the counter spell, they also can't combo us off.
Yeah, I mean their hand is Icefang, Coatl, Aloran, something else right now. That is my belief. And every damage we deal to their face is one less card they can draw. Oh wait, Spirit can flash in off Aloran. We're
Yeah.
actually good here. So I'm gonna cast the sword, I think. All right, I'm moving in on casting sword. If they force, they force. Okay, so you go at Oko, you go at their face. Unless they have like Nature's Claim, I think we're good.
Yeah, that would not be a card I would be playing around. That's one of those like, all right, you had it. Good,
Yep,
good, good for
whatever.
you.
Yep, enjoy your cookie. If they had Nature's Claim, I don't think they would have Oko'd this. They would have just claimed it. All right, Uro,
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
We have Caracas for that. It also cannot interact with our sorted up creature.
Yeah, this is one of the awkward things about playing Death and Taxes right now is like
Bummer.
it's so important to answer Oko just like immediately on site because of the awful things that it does.
Yep. And all right, so I can stick Jitte onto something here. Does that help? Oh, right. We did it. Okay. So I'm gonna Apparition the Harpy and attack. I think that's better than uh, exiling Oko. Because if this resolves, it's clean either way. And they can like pay 1 life, and then they have that back in their hand. Okay, so attack Oko. Do I attack face, or do I want to sneak Jitte in this turn? Or I could just cast Spirit.
I would probably be casting Spirit here. I'd send the Stoneforge at face.
All right. Just hope they don't play Dead of Winter.
Yeah, I mean, Dead of Winter is one of those cards where like often you can't play around it because if like the difference between getting 3 for 1 and getting 5 for 1 is like you're losing the game either way.
Right. They can bring back Uro here, and I have the Caracas for him.
Yeah, so this
They
just
don't
gives
draw a card.
a little life.
Yeah, it's gain 3 life, put a 6/6 legend into play. They didn't Assassin's Trophy my Caracas. All right, so always no,
You'll
and
also want to
always
always
yield. All right, I'm
yeah,
learning.
they changed the way that card works on Moto a while back to just be more of a pain in the butt and inconvenience.
All right, so are we recruiting this turn, or do I just want to get Jitte on something? Or I could just
It's
port.
probably fine to save the recruiter until like you know what you need.
All
I
right,
would uh I would get that Jite in there.
They said, I'm tired, you win for sure. Not sure what that means. Maybe they just forgot about Spirit and Caracas.
Yeah, it sounds like that's what it means. So the cool thing about keeping a recruiter is that you can, like, if they cast an alarm and start going off, you can cast the recruiter in response to something crucial, and then get like a Skyclave apparition or Spirit of Labyrinth or whatever you need.
Yeah, that is cool. Oh, they have this shit. Okay, it's not even
Yeah,
good. It can
we have
kill
we have creature
this.
type diversity.
Yeah, so they can kill my spirit and shrink this spirit, but that's about all they can do. Uh, Uro is back. It actually does draw a card this time.
Yeah, that's fine. Our opponent is, on the brink of death in terms of their life total.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm attacking for 7 right meow.
We can rip a Flicker Wisp and get a kill, or Recruiter for it if we want to go full aggro and attempt to get the kill this turn.
I mean, I think that's. I guess they have drawn a lot of cards. I think I'm just gonna mana deny them out. Play this slow. Just kill this. Attack, and they're dead next turn, and I can like port them off green in their upkeep.
I wonder actually if you should be porting them off of black because I guess Dead of Winter is dead now because we have, they have 1 life. Uh, no, that's not true. Right.
That's
Sorry, I
Toxic
was
Deluge.
thinking Toxic Deluge. Bleh.
Yeah. Dead of Winter is for 5, and we have a 6/6 though. Yeah, I guess black makes sense. I just thought I was thinking like if I port the black and 1 green, they could still go forest combo, but that would be pretty specific. All right, we're on the board. All right, we're on the draw again, 3 for 3 on losing the die roll, but that's just extra cards in the deck that doesn't draw extra cards. Opponent had nice things to say about my YouTube channel. I let them know they're in a video. So hello, Zabel. Nice to see you. Thanks for watching. I hope we have a good match. So Phil, I think this is a slam keeper.
Yep. The hand will be very, 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 very bad if the vial does not resolve because we kind of have a pile of like late game cards. We have nothing to do early.
Oh, we're playing
Uh,
against Infect.
yeah. If our vial resolves, everything is awful about this hand, and we will die. But we'll probably die anyway, so that's fine.
All right, yeah, we are several turns. I guess Rishadenport might. Oh, Inkmoth Nexus was their threat. Rishadenport is going to be a juicy, juicy lad.
Yeah, we are exceptionally lucky if they do not play a creature here.
All right, always yield. Yes. Oh, baby.
So okay.
Uh, and I think I need to waste them now. Because if they have like, I guess it doesn't really matter. I can just hold this up. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it. Never mind.
Yeah, so I would have just played Rishadenport in this turn and planned on porting the Inkmoth Nexus. The thing about Wasteland is it's exceptionally awkward against a crop rotation.
Yeah, that is fair. So I'm just gonna let them get their 2 poison here.
Yeah, you have to take this hit since you didn't Wasteland on our turn.
Yep, I was committed to that. But next turn I can port it and I can waste it. So that plays through 2 protection spells. All right,
Okay.
and we even put in Thalia.
So you no.
Oh, whoops. Oh shit. Uh,
Okay.
why?
This is fine.
Why? Sorry, I got excited. Why do we wait?
So you can Wasteland them, and then if they go to fetch, you can Thalia. It ends up in about the
Oh,
same
okay, okay. I hear you. I hear.
So You also wanted to wasteland while they couldn't possibly crop rotation.
Oh, okay, yeah. I wasn't even thinking about wasting it. I was thinking about like in my head, I was letting them have this Inkmoth Nexus and just interacting with it in combat exclusively. But yeah, the thing that you said is way smarter.
Yeah, so you could have wastelanded the Inkmoth on our turn, and then Rashad imported down one of their other mana sources, and that keeps them off of like larger castable things like Oko or Viridian Corruptor.
Yep, I am not in the mindset yet of do everything to stop Oko against every deck.
Yeah, it's a bunch of BS.
Yes, certainly sounds like it. Yeah, so now they have the second ink moth that they wouldn't have if I played this the way I was supposed to. But now Vial's up to 3. All right, so do I just sit on Surprise Flicker Wisps or do I try to prelate them?
Sanctum Prelate is good, but not great. Like putting it on one will shut off a lot of cantrips. Putting it on three will stop Okos and Vigorate.
All right. So if I put it on 1, they can't crop rotate and that makes Wasteland super live. Though I'm kind of into just having Flicker Wisp.
This
Like,
is this is probably a game where we're looking to drag it on.
all right, and I don't attack, or so if I attack and they animate Pendlehaven block, I can Wasteland with impunity. So I
Yeah,
think the attack is good.
yeah, the attack is fine. It could weirdly get like berserked or something, but that would be a win as a whole.
Yeah. All right, so I yeah, all right. So they're not even firing up the Ink Moths here. I guess they still can. They're at the phase where that's still allowed, but barely.
Yeah, a lot of the like beginning of combat attackers sort of lingo has changed a lot in the last few years as far as like in tournament rules go. Oh,
So is it we Sanctum Prelate here, right?
that this seems like a fine opportunity to do it. Yeah,
They said we'll do it the hard way. Do we name 1 probably?
one is probably fine.
All right, yeah. If they want to invigorate this thing, it's fine. Surprise. Actually, oh, they just conceded. Uh, all right, yeah. Their hand must have been full of just a flurry of spells that did not deal enough damage to a blocker, or their
Yeah,
thing would just die embarrassingly, which is also viable. All right, so Path to Exile,
seems great.
Walking Ballista.
Seems great.
Um, these are in my maybe pile for now. Um, is Deafening Silence something we want here?
Yes,
All right, I would
it's
think so.
one of those cards where you're like, eh, I'm not happy about it, but it stops you from being combo killed a good portion of the time. It's it's good enough. It's not like going to crush the matchup in the same way it would like TES or something, but it's
Right.
fine.
All right, so uh, I have laid them out here as definitely, probably, maybe.
Yep. Okay. That sounds about right.
All right, so the cuts. I don't think we need Mother of Runes for this matchup.
Mother Runes is not great.
All right. They do cantrip, but it's not like integral to their plan. They could just kill me without casting a cantrip. So Spirit is on my watch list. Jitte is about the best card in the format against Infect, so that's obviously staying right where it is. Uh,
Okay. Your mind is about where I would expect your mind to be. After you play this matchup a bunch, a bunch, you realize that you trip over your own Thalias more than they trip over them.
Ooh.
So, like, you holding up 1 mana for a removal spell is easy. You holding up 2 mana for a removal spell is almost impossible while deploying other cards. So, I would be looking at getting rid of Thalias and Mother of Runes
All
here.
right. So that's 8 cards out and 7 in. Now I have these 3 maybes. Which of these maybes do we want? 42 seconds or less to make our decision.
So a heuristic that I have is I try to never go below 20 creatures. When you start going below 20 creatures, it just becomes harder and harder for you to do things with Aether Vial. So at this stage, I would either be looking at playing a Leonin Relic Warder, mostly for Sylvan Library, or keeping 1 Mother of Runes.
I like Relic Warder because it can also eat an Inkmoth Nexus with Aether Vial, which I don't know if we're allowed to plan for Aether Vial. Well, here we are. Uh, I think this is a keep, but
It is barely a keep. I
yeah.
agree. This is the worst 1 land Aether Vial hand that we've had so far,
Uh,
because the white mana is so important in this matchup.
yeah, so the white mana is important, but at the same time, I think a worse one lander would be Rishadenport, because Wasteland, like we saw last game, has tremendous utility here. But like obviously, I would much rather have. Let's just draw a white source right now and make this a
Yeah.
non-issue.
The Nightmare world is the world in which our opponent plays either Oko or Blighted Agent this turn, and
They're tapping blue, so they're either about to cantrip or the Blighted Agent's coming. All
please
right.
cantrip. Yeah, thank you.
Ooh,
Now,
sweet
now there's
relief.
now we can't get Oko'd this turn. So the next step is don't get Blighted Agented.
Yep. And things we have to say about that are nothing at all. Oh, wow, missed a land drop. So they're brainstorm locked. They did manage to advance their board with a second Noble Hierarch. And I guess I will make the play. So, Phil, you've been really scared of Oko this whole game, or this whole
Yep.
league, which makes sense. They don't have a land drop. I could waste them, and then they won't have Oko, but I will be on fucking nothing if they answer my Aether Vial.
So let me ask you a question. How do we win this game?
We activate Aether Vial a lot.
Okay, but like the easiest path to victory is in our hand, right? It's connect with Jitte.
Yes. All
And in
right.
order to connect with Jitte, we need 2 mana.
All
If
right.
we wasteland them, we need to draw 2 lands in order for that dream to be live.
All right. You talked me into it. That makes perfect sense, and I'm glad there's no Thalias in my deck right now.
So another thing, talking about Oko now, Oko is considerably less scary this turn than in previous turns because now we have a Vial ticking up, and there's a realistic chance that we could Skyclave it off a Vial before we just die.
That makes sense. I miss Phyrexian Revoker right about now.
We would have boarded it out if it was in our deck, don't worry.
uh, results oriented thinking. All right, it's time for a planes. Basic planes. Ugh.
Okay.
All right, so uh, I guess I just pass. I port
Hold on,
them.
quick
Oh,
combat math. So our opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage on board without casting any spells.
yes, that's true.
So we can reduce it to 4, but the difference between 5 and 4 doesn't matter. It's still 2 pump spells in just about any case.
Yeah, so
They don't have free invigorate yet.
so I think what we have to do is uh, Violent Stoneforge, block, get this up to 3, and eat this thing with Skyclave Apparition.
Yeah, so like the question is, do we want to port this turn, or do we just want to jam this Jitte and work towards the world where we actually
Oh,
win?
okay, that's interesting. Yeah, they can cast Berserk regardless. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna cast the Jitte.
Yeah, I think this is the line that wins us this game the highest percentage of the time.
Yep, that makes sense. All right, they did not have a forest for invigorate.
Well, that's a great start.
Yep. Let's see if one of these triggers resolves. All right, they got the Pendelhaven.
Yep. So this is a time where no, 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 no. This
Nope.
is a time where you are going to want to activate your vial on one,
Ah, okay.
specifically for stifle.
All right. Got the stifle. Stifle me. Stifle me. All right. They were not fooled. Glad we checked though.
Yeah, I just have.
Oh, what is this shit?
So
Hard.
this is going to be them casting spells before a Thalia could come in.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, do they have the berserk also? All right. Yeah, we're dead.
Okay, well, we don't win the games where they do that.
Yep, that's fine. Tease. Okay. Got berserked. Um, I don't think anything changes player draw, right?
No, like you could consider adjusting Mother of Runes play draw, but usually it's in the other direction where you consider playing Mother of Runes on the draw because it's something that can block a Glistener Elf, and that's less attractive on the play.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Yep. Same deck. Uh, is Feast and Famine like that doesn't really do much, right? Compared to Fire and
Oh,
Ice.
sorry, I forgot an obvious board out before. We don't really need the Batter Skull in this matchup. We can take that out.
All right. And do we bring in this or this?
Council's Judgment is kind of medium. It's better in the post Oko world. We could bring that in if you want.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry, I just totally forgot about the Batter Skull. This is why, like, when you're playing in big events, you write out a sideboard guide ahead of time just so
yep.
you don't like do what I just did.
And to my original question, is Feast and Famine worse than Fire and Ice? Most.
Yes,
Okay.
Sword of Fire and Ice shoots creatures.
Right. I would like to play first, thank you. Hey, we have a functional
Yeah,
hand.
no, don't undersell it. This is borderline ideal.
Yeah, this is close to cheating.
Now that's
Sorry,
not to say
Zabel.
we can't just lose on turn 2 or 3, but
Yeah, I mean this we're on the play. We have Vile, white mana, off a basic land, no less. Spot removal, fucking Jitte. We even have the Vile Relic Warder combo I mentioned for Inkmoth Nexus. So let's do the damn thing.
this is also a very hard matchup to win. I'm very happy we got game one.
Yeah, I've played some Infect before, and when you keep your hands, it's always like, all right, I have 3 Inkmoth Nexuses. If they're a control deck, I win instantly. If they're a Wasteland deck, I lose on the spot. And they they ended up on the wrong side of that through no fault of their own last game. All right, so I just cast Stoneforge, right?
You could also just cast the Jitte and have that floating in play.
Ooh, okay.
Because next turn you can vial in the Stoneforge, pick up another equipped piece of equipment that way.
All right, yeah, I'll go for this. I just worried about Force of Will, but I guess I don't really need to be. Because if they,
I'm beating the dead horse here, but we're really just worried about Oko.
all right, that's fair.
Like that's always going to be the thing that just takes the wind out of the sails of this deck.
All right, yeah, I mean, they're certainly well set up for Oko. Did they have Oko game one, or are we just assuming it's in the deck?
I'm assuming it's in the deck.
Okay, yeah, they all blur together because every deck has Oko.
That is also correct.
All right, so they missed their land drop. Uh, is there anything to be done here other than just jam Path to Exile?
No, we want to fire off our removal on our turn.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, is there anything I could do, like cast Stoneforge Mystic or something that would try to bait a counter spell before I go for the removal spell? Uh, does that
Oh,
matter?
I see.
Like they can't
So
daze.
I'm used to playing around days, but we don't have to do that here.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just jam Stone Forge and see what they have to say about it.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
All right, they don't care. Correctly, don't care. Sword of Fire and Ice. You're welcome for the land drop. Enjoy it. All right. Whew. And their basic land's already in play.
Oh,
That was nasty.
beautiful.
Sorry, Zabel.
Oh, this is gross.
Oh yeah, this is unfortunate. Their hand is probably pull pump spells at this point. So I'll put in the other Stone Forge. I'm out of weapons to search for, but it's another body. Let's look at the deck one more time. Ooh, okay, fail to find. Uh, I don't think I
Leave it
ran.
at two.
What?
Leave it at two.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because we have a 2-drop in hand. All right, so more 2-drops. Yeah, I'm just gonna equip Jitte and Crunch.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if this Jitte connects, the game is over. Because it's basically double Stone Rain. Ooh. Okay, fair enough.
Yep. I mean, that's fine. The Jitte is still on board. We still have plenty of creatures.
Yep, we can just make that same play again next turn. The onus is on them to not lose the game right now. Uh-oh. 3-4 beats coming in. All right, and I can violin the third Stone Forge. All right, I guess I can turn off those auto yields if it becomes relevant.
Agreed.
All right, more.
Yeah, so they need like more swords to plowshares.
Yep, and every plow in their hand is not an infect creature, but we know they don't have an infect creature because it would be in play already. A land would be great, so I can equip. All right, nice. Port even is extra messed up. All right, it's your turn, buddy.
Yeah, so Stifle is another thing that can buy a turn. Just throwing it out there on the list of outs.
Right. Oh, did we?
Uh-oh.
Yep. Rut-row. Okay, so they could still stifle. All right, so I'm just gonna kill 2 hierarchs and port them.
Yeah. So tiny thing there. This technically should have been done end of combat, so
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
they can't float a blue mana for spell pierce or brainstorm or whatever. It doesn't really matter here, but just
Yep.
for the viewers at home looking to do the tiny things, right? We've gotten the GGs in chat.
Yeah. Those were brutal, all 3 of them, in one way or the other. uh, Listen to Zabel. Don't forget to subscribe and like YouTube peoples. Like, comment, subscribe. This is a good time to remind everyone. Zabel's told you, listen to them. They are smart. All right, we got away with one there. On the draw for the 4th time in a row. Maybe we'll win a die roll with this here deck with no instants in it someday. Phil, this one looks borderline AF to me.
Yeah, so the problem with this hand is kind of threefold. Our early game isn't great. We don't have double white, and we have 2 pieces of equipment in hand,
Right.
making our like Stoneforge is much worse. I would probably be looking at shipping this one to just try to find something with like a mom or a vial or a swords.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's no brainstorm in this deck. Like I've played a lot of Esper Stoneblade and Blue White Stoneblade where you can brainstorm your equipment away and get a free shuffle while gaining card advantage, but that doesn't happen in this deck. Hey Phil, what
Yeah,
do you
quite
think about this one?
disagreeable.
Is this a keep? All right.
I
Uh,
guess.
so you have expressed in the past willingness to bottom plow in the blind. Obviously, we're keeping at least two of the lands, Thalia and one of the vials. So the options I'm looking at to bottom are plow, plains, or the redundant vial. What do you think?
I would be shipping the redundant vial here, and the reason is you're maybe going to be casting Thalia on turn two anyway, depending on what your opponent is doing, like how scared we are of just like dying. So that means we might not be playing the second vial. And if we're not casting the Thalia on turn two, we're probably porting, meaning the second vial is awkward.
Good thing we didn't bottom plow. Holy shit.
Yep.
So this is not a turn one vial, is it?
Oh, it is most certainly not.
Huh.
Also, Brian, you have to stop getting paired against hard matchups. Like
Hey,
Goblins is rough.
Infect's rough. Snoko's rough. Hey,
Snoko's not actually rough. The data the D&T community has been collecting has indicated that that matchup is actually positive.
weird.
Boggles my mind,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I feel like I've never lost to D&T with Snoko, and as of tonight, I've never beat it either. I've never beat Snoko with D&T. All right, so I'm gonna plow right now so they don't get mana.
yep.
All right, that was so lucky that we had the double plow hand against their double lackey hand. But now we just lose to all the other shit they do. Oh my god, City of Traders. They're like full Muxa Stompy over there.
Yeah, so our opponent might even have chalices in their deck right now. Like I know it's weird to say that after they played a one drop, but
It doesn't
we
matter. They played their one drops
yep,
through Cavern, so yeah, I think this is like the Caleb Durward Muxus Stompy deck.
I agree.
So do we port City of Traders or do we cast Thalia? I think porting City is probably better.
We're trying not to die to Muxus, and our goal is to put that off for as many turns as possible.
All right, that answers my question. Confirms my suspicion, as it were.
Um, a resolved Muxus in most cases means that you either die or effectively die, neither of which is where you want to be.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
so the matron finds the Muxus here, if they don't already
Um,
have it.
maybe not. It
Oh,
depends on,
they
yeah.
can lackey with haste. Yeah, all right. So if they already have Muxus, they just put it into play. We worked so hard on those first two lackeys. Oh, don't sweat me. Just put it into play. Ah!
Oh, okay. You're still alive.
What the fuck?
It's cool. Like we're at a major power deficit, but now our vial is active. There's a chance.
Yeah, so they also may have just put that war chief in this turn to set up a giant haste win next turn. Like they could very well just have Muxus, and they just figured like I'll be able to cast it with double war chief and prospector next turn, and I'll just make sure the haste kill happens, and I don't die to some like random Wrath of God or some shit. I guess
I
maybe
don't know.
I'm supposed to tap Mountain.
Yeah, you're probably supposed to tap Mountain because of Jump Palm Incinerator.
Okay, yep, I'll buy it. This can get Muxus. Muxus costs 5, or Muxus costs 4. 1, 2, 3.
They're going to attempt to put it in via Goblin Lackey, then we'll ambush with
Ah,
Thalia.
right, right, right.
Um, but next turn is a little dicey.
Oh, they can just
Or,
cast him. They built the city on goblins. Maybe they'll whiff.
yeah, that's very
Uh,
possible.
or they could just hit Kranko. Wee! All right. That was nasty. So what do we do, Phil? Just pack it up.
Well, we're gonna try not to lose. So we're gonna board in anything that can kill some goblins.
All right. These all are capable of killing goblins. Council's Judgment is a pretty embarrassing way to kill goblins, but I guess it does technically. Grafdigger's Cage stops muxes, right? Or do you exile them? Or do you reveal them? Uh,
Uh,
I'll look it up real quick.
okay.
Uh, to the magic app.
I think they get revealed and
Yeah,
you put
it's
them into play.
revealed. So Cage does stop muxes. Yeah, reveal the top 6 cards of your library, put all goblins. Yeah, so a revealed card in your library is still in your library, and creatures can't enter the battlefield from libraries. Yes, Cage works. So there's 5 things in. Uh, do we want Relic Warder just as another thing that can block Lackey on the play?
It's possible. We're gonna have a lot of bad cards with our build.
Right.
So like Sanctum Prelate's bad, Spirit of Labyrinth is not great, Thalia's not great.
All right, Spirit of the Lab.
I think Spirit of the Labyrinth comes out before Thalia's come out.
Yeah, first strike
What we have
matters.
6 we want, so we trim 2 Thalias.
All right, I'll buy that. And just 4 removal spells, 1 cage, and a 2/2. I like you said, they might have Chalice of the Void. They could also have Aether Vial, though I'm not sure that this build plays it.
I don't think it does, but I'm not 100% sure. I played that deck once, you know, 6 months ago at this point.
Yeah, same. I played it at Gen Con and never again.
I did not find that deck enjoyable to play.
Me neither. All right, so we have a Mom and a Jitte. Is this good enough?
Um, this is a sketchy all-in hand where if they just play a reasonable goblins game, we lose. But if they're, you know, if they don't have a strong opener, this is fine.
All right, so is it a mulligan? I guess is the important question. Like, is there if we mulligan to like the perfect 6, how what how does that swing the matchup? Like this is obviously a nightmare. Like, are we talking about like
The perfect six would
5%?
probably have like 2 lands, a vial, a sword, a stone forge, or something like that. This is a mediocre 7 that can maybe mise a game.
All right,
I think this can go either way. I'm
I,
not happy about this.
I'm gonna mulligan. Like, I generally my rule is never keep a sketchy 7 in Paris or in London Mulligan. So I'll follow my own rules here and get instantly punished. What do you think about this one, Phil?
I mean, we could just keep it so we could lose faster, but like, I guess we'll like play it out for the viewers.
Oh, they kept 7. Don't worry. All right, so this is pretty close to the 6 that you said would be good. We have a removal spell and a Stoneforge Mystic. I think we just keep the apparition and bottom these two
I agree with that.
because recruiter. I mean, it's a body, but the body we probably want is apparition, so we can
Yeah.
just skip the middleman.
It's super awkward that like we have a path to exile and not a source of plowshare because of our opponent go.
Oh God. Oh,
Sure. I mean, that's spicy. Their city of traders gets to stick around.
yep, and we can't waste or port anymore. They did spend a spirit guide on that. So do I get Sword of Fire and Ice or Jitte?
Against normal goblins, it's almost always Jitte. I don't know how this deck changes that.
Okay. I'll get Jitte then.
My gut feeling says that it's still Jitte.
Yeah, it's close. Uh, like we don't have a one drop to connect right away either way. So I don't know. We'll see.
So notably, like if they're playing City of Traders and Blood Suns and stuff, they're less likely to have something like Goblin Chain Whirler, which is like large and has First Strike, that would make us want to have the sword instead.
Right. I wonder if they're just gonna search up Trash Master and dunk on me. Did you notice how this came into play without 3 life? That was awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty spicy. Yeah, and Trash Master was indeed the pickup.
Yep. They pitched a War Chief to make 1 red right now. That's like maybe they're what? Uh, so
That's probably them playing around Thalia.
yeah. So I'd like to punish them for it with this Relic Warder. Like I can like they have this Trash Master. Yeah, I want to eat the Chrome Mox.
Okay, so how batshit crazy do you want to be?
Why? What do you got?
Well, you can Relic Warder, target Chrome Mox, path to exile your own Relic Warder, permanently exile Chrome Mox, and have 4 mana next turn to go Jitte equip.
So that is awesome, but I think that this Path to Exile is going to be too important for this Trash Master. Like if they just trash, then that doesn't matter.
Yes. So it's like a crazy line that is really good if they don't have another red source after that Mox.
Or like ever, right?
Super questionable otherwise.
All right. They had Ancient Tomb. That's not a red source. Land right meow. Shit. All right. Um, I'll get in for my 3. Or I guess I should have attacked for 2, so I could. I guess I'm not playing around Trash Master anyway. I'll just cast Jitte, and I can Path Matron, or I could Apparition the Blood Sun. No, I want to save Apparition. Like I want to answer their shit. So I'm gonna play the Jitte. They didn't have the red source last turn. Let's fade it again. Yes. All right, looks like we're doing it.
Yeah, but if this is what doing it looks like, I don't know how good that is.
We take these, Phil. We take them and run. I'm equipping Jitte to Stoneforge Mystic instead of the other thing because I want them to have to think about their removal spells a little bit. No freebies.
Yeah. That's just the Blood Sun. Why are you responding to it?
Because I'm gonna kill that thing anyway. I might as well do it now. All right. The Blood Sun Stompy deck is not getting it done against Jitte right now. But I mean, I guess they could still just cast Muxus. They're a red source away from Muxifying me.
So that might have been a turn to use the onboard Jitte counter and convert it
Yeah.
to damage.
Yeah, I was just already thinking about my second main and what I'm going to do about the Muxus as soon as they draw a red source, and just forgot to do that. But yes, I agree. It was time to push for damage, and I missed it. All right, what do you get here? Prospector, Crystal Vein. My goodness. All right, so 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 1 short if I were to path, so I'm just not going to path. Oh,
All right.
so
GG.
yeah, path. This is exactly 10. I'll give them the the red source they've been looking for. Oh, they packed it up. They didn't even want to see the ballista. They just figured that was good enough. All right. Easy money.
So this match on the draw is probably rough.
Oh, for sure. So does this like Blood Sun, Stompy, Chrome Mox, Business change your thoughts on Thalia at all, or is she still just a two of?
So, like similarly with Infect, if you're holding up a Swords of Plowshares or a Path to Exile, it's super awkward if you have your own Thalia.
Right.
And a lot of their non-creature spells, they're likely to hemorrhage in the first two turns when they're on the play before your Thalia can come in.
Yep. So it looks like same deck again.
Yeah, you could even go one slot further and pull one more Thalia and just play the Gideon as something that's good when they have like the awkward I've drawn the lock portion of the deck. But having another creature that you can put in a file is always worth something.
Yeah. Yeah, my Violon 2 is pretty skinny right now, and First Strike is a good ability, but we have a lot of removal. All right, I'll do that. So we just
Have to
need
make
them to,
Gideon earn his bread.
yeah, he hasn't really shown up yet. I we just need them to completely brick on the colored source in their monocolor deck again.
Yeah, I mean, even Death and Taxes with its 8 colorless sources is kind of pushing it. So when you go any deeper than that with a monocolored deck, it's actually really sketchy. D&T only gets by because it gets Ether Vial to cheat on the mana.
Yeah, I've definitely won a lot of games against Death and Taxes where I just like disenchant the Aether Vial and they just have like Wasteland, Rishadenport.
Yeah, if you are a Death and Taxes player at home, just keep track of how many times you don't have white white on turn 3 over the course of a league. It'll scare you.
Yeah, it really is a big problem. And then like for a while, D&T players were playing like a Mishra's Factory or two, and it's like that, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this in the deck tech, but when I build my Death and Taxes mana base, I'm usually about 30% more conservative than any other pilot. So I only have 2 Caracas in this list, and I've maximized the number of plains and snow-covered plains I have, just so I don't lose games to random wastelands as frequently.
Yeah, also like I frequently bring in Back to Basics or Blood Moon if I have them in my control decks against Death and Taxes, because just shutting off the ports and stuff, such a big deal. Like I'm not even trying to color screw you, I'm just trying to port screw you. All right,
Yeah, every utility land you play comes at a cost, and the Horizon Canopy style lands are really popular inclusions in Death and Taxes because they give you percentage points versus Snow, and then it just feels super bad versus Delver.
yeah, yeah. So my opponent is deep in the tank, taking a long think about their life after last game. So uh, yeah, when Phil sent me this list right before we started recording tonight, I did actually take note that 14 seems like a lot of basic planes for a Death and Taxes list, and that is by design. I was also pretty sure they usually play 3 Caracas.
Yes, that is correct.
All right. Yeah, I don't mind that. Like having when your land is just Lotus Petal instead, that's a bad place to be, especially in a deck this hungry.
Yeah, my rationale is I think that I am going to be a better player than a lot of my opponents. And so I want to make more conservative deck building choices in a lot of cases that lock me out of the fewest number of games possible.
That sounds exactly like the way I approach Legacy. Like I am known for basic lands. That is my claim to fame. I just insist on basic lands all the time. I this has we're not dead to Lackey, but it is Path to Exile, and we're very dead to Chalice. We can
I
Harry. Go ahead.
I think we're keeping this 100% of the time after our opponent has mulligan to 6. If they go soul and pass, we wasteland them.
All right,
And like we probably win that game.
all right. Let's hope for the best. A turn one Blood Sun would be bad news, but I guess we just mom there. All right, they're on 6. That's not a soul land. Oh, it's
Yeah,
a
but it's also not a goblin lackey.
yeah, it's nothing. Ooh. All
Yep, that's even better.
right, this hand's coming together. Let's see if they go Soul Land, Blood Sun here. That wouldn't surprise me. Ooh, Crystal Vein. Oh my god. Crystal Vein for Matron. Wow.
That's a little rough.
This is aggressive.
Lackey, like Lackey try to connect with Moxus, Mize the Wind. Skark Prospector. Okay.
That, I don't know. That's weird that they would spew 2 mana to get a creature that you can then trade in your creatures for mana for. I don't know. It's suspicious, and I'm going to port them.
By different logic, they could have too many lands in hand, and like they have a bunch of soul lands. They're okay with hemorrhaging one to get their other red source or something.
Yeah, so like City of Traders is exactly the land that I would put them on in their hand. Like if they go City of Traders, that's 4, 5, 6 next turn for Muxus. So def
So
but I can waste and port.
this was a turn where we could have considered trading our Mother of Runes for their Lotus Petal.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. And I think with the Wasteland and the port, it, is that something you would have done or something we just should have considered?
It's something we should have considered.
All right, yeah, that's fair.
I don't think I would have done it. Like, given the amount of pressure we can put on their mana base, they can only get to 4 this turn outside of like Spirit Guide.
Yeah, they've shown us Spirit Guide and Chrome Mox, so like the Lotus Petal thing is definitely a consideration. Yeah, like now I feel like we're in great position here. It's just will our deck deliver something that can start hitting? Like can we rip the Stoneforge Mystic or the Flicker Wisp, or are we just in trouble here? I am not gonna up this vial. Or maybe we
Don't you want
should.
to up the file?
Yeah, I think we do.
You boarded out something like 6 to 8 2 drops, I think.
Yeah,
So
as
you
soon
have
as I
plenty.
said that I'm not gonna up the vial, I was like, wait, yes I am.
So that was a turn where we maybe didn't want to play that vial. We could be thinking about Path to Exiling the Skark Prospector because it represents more than 1 mana. We stabilize their mana a little bit in doing so, but we eliminate burst mana that could potentially be created.
Okay, yep, that makes a lot of sense. Uh, does that mean I should path this thing now instead of porting?
So if they play a soul land, they have 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I think we can still port safely.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they have Chrome Mox and Spirit Guide. If I path here, then I don't know. I feel like you sold me on what you said,
Okay.
and yeah, I think pathing this is worth doing.
So if we end up like not playing the vial this turn, then it's 100% to just like path that thing in the upkeep while also porting. And
Yeah,
then because of the line we committed to, it's a little weird now.
yep. War Chief. Okay, we need some payoffs here. Okay, so this one I can always say no, always yield, and always say no to this triggered ability from this Aether Vial. No, and yes to
So you
this
will
one.
always be yielding to that one by default now.
All right. All right. I think I want to Caracas,
Yeah, that's fine.
and then I don't think I need a third vial in play. Like I can port Caracas
Oh,
and Path.
yeah,
All right, and I'm gonna port the Crystal Vein.
agree.
Yeah, we have been hit by a big case of wrong half of the deck itis, which is a thing that can happen to decks that don't have cantrips in them. We did a great job controlling their mana, getting our resources set up under us, and just rely on the top of the deck from here to do anything about it. All right, so I think I have to path. So do you path War Chief in response to this so they don't get the activation now? Or do you path Krenko once it arrives?
Ooh, that's actually kind of interesting. So the weird part is if they activate or if they don't activate and they just like go to pass the turn.
Right.
But if they just like activate now for some reason, that's better for us.
Yeah, I think I.
I think this Caracas can be on Cranko duty forever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just hit the War Chief and
For the
then
war chief.
yeah, I forgot about this being a legend. So yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes that easy. City. Oh no. Blood Sun. Boop. One and done, kids. Okay, so Kranko and one wild card in their hand.
Yeah, and if that wild card is Muxus, I don't think you need me to tell you where this game goes.
Right. Let's just draw like ah a Muxus amongst us. Will not be amongst us. I guess I might as well run this out and then. All right, I'm all in. It's Kranko and two wild cards versus the top of my deck and Vial on every number. Yep, you got it, fella. So we have a lot of answers to this thing, and it's basically up to right now to find them.
Yes, every turn we miss at this point is devastating. Like the ones up to this point have been bad, but every miss from here is just our opponent building an army.
Embarrassingly try to tap that, doesn't work. Okay. Brick City.
Need like a soul warden to help us out,
That would be
gain us
great.
some life.
All right,
Yeah, so
so
unfortunately, Moto won't auto stack these for us every turn anymore.
yeah, that's kind of silly. Uh,
It used to work that way.
this might as well go to two, right? There's basically no ones in the deck.
Yeah, there's basically no ones in the deck. There's a theoretical world where you want two at three for Recruiter of the Guard based
All
reasons.
right. That's I don't want to cast. So I guess maybe I do want to cast. So
So there's a lot of lines available now. So you can Recruiter of the Guard for Recruiter of the Guard for Flicker Wisp, Flicker Recruiter of the Guard, get Stoneforge Mystic, put in Stoneforge Mystic, get Equipment Connect next turn. Or you can Recruiter of the Guard for Stoneforge Mystic, get a piece of equipment online, attack with it this turn.
root for Stoneforge. Yeah, I guess I could hit with Jete this or I would want Sword of Fire and Ice, right?
You'd want Sword of Fire and Ice for draws.
Yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. I
There
want to
is also a Walking Ballista in the deck. It's
one,
a
two.
little rough. You could Walking Ballista for X equals 3 and use that to kill the Krenko. Another line that's available to you is Recruiter ultimately getting a Skyclave Apparition. Skyclave Apparition, take out Blood Sun, use Blood Sun to, with Blood Sun gone, you just bounce Krenko.
An apparition can just eat Kranko, right?
Sure, whatever, fine, we can do it your way.
Actually, I like the Stoneforge Mystic for Sword of Fire and Ice one the best.
Okay.
Um, I in this top deck war, I am heavily interested in uh, drawing more cards than my opponent. There's a chance that this Kranko runs away with it, Like, we could just get one of these numerous answers to Krenko, but I am more interested in this right now. The Sword of Fire and Ice. Put it on the mom. I guess I should leave Caracas up in case something happens where Blood Sun leaves play, but I don't know how that would happen.
Yeah, that's probably not happening this turn cycle.
All right, so let's just draw Swords to Plowshares off of this trigger. Yeah, they have to monkey up right now because I'm about to pick off the matron. Yes!
What a draw.
That's why we draw extra cards. That's the best thing you can do in Magic the Gathering.
That's why they printed those new Monarch cards, right? Just so people can draw more.
Yep. Don't have Trash Master, you asshole. I worked so hard for this. Or they could have Shatter Skull, whatever the front half of this is. Oh, yep, that is what happened. That doesn't really matter, though. I have the thing that matters. Okay. Re-Cranko. We still get to draw 2 cards. I'm going to bring one of the vials on 2 up to 3.
Yep, I agree. If we were to spike the second recruiter, then that becomes very good.
Yeah. Use Aether Vial's ability. Yes, please. And draw that card with no text. All right, well, they're top decking, and I'm drawing 2 cards a turn. Ugh. Those are not the cards we're looking for.
Yeah, I think it's correct to still be pinging their creatures, but there is a world where we just say, like, I think I can race your Krenko and
Okay,
just
yeah.
that race.
So I guess we should actually do that math. I go to 16 here. All right, always no. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm on a 2-turn clock. I can hit them for 5 twice. They're on a 3-turn clock. But if
Yeah,
I,
if we were going to do this, last turn was the turn to commit to it.
yeah, I think we would have won the race last turn. But now it's too late to control these at all. So I think we have to just go face and hope to spike an evasive creature or a bigger creature. That is a creature,
I mean, we can play Mom and move the sword to this one so we can at least soak up some
right?
damage.
Yeah, that takes Krenko out of the attack pool. And him being a 3-power creature himself is a big deal. I need these idiots to not get haste, though.
It's cool. So we get to take out this Kark Prospector.
Yeah, easy money there.
So what are we taking 4 this turn? So we're at 12. So we're not like dead on board next turn as of right now.
Yeah, drawing the second creature was huge. All right, what do you do? So that can exile Krenko from combat. I mean, I guess I just attack and ping. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If they get haste somehow, I can violin and remove the haste granter. I think.
I think you're just overthinking. I think on our M step, we Flicker Wisp the Krenko so that it can't activate in the next turn cycle.
Okay, I mean, that also works.
Just like don't play to the world where they can have a bunch more tokens for no reason.
Oh, we got plow also. So that should cover any extra bases, but I like wisping the Krenko in our end step best.
Yep,
And I need to move my sword back over.
sounds good. We also have like Swords to Plowshares, our own creature available uh, if things get dicey somehow.
All right, get you out of here.
Um, a Lord is bad here.
We have the plow.
Yeah, okay, I guess it's not.
Yeah. Trash Master's really bad. All right,
Oh,
just 4/4 creature.
okay,
Grafdigger's Cage. Hello. All right, so you reveal these. They don't come into play.
great.
Don't have to deal with that War Chief, and we win. Phil's
All
over here
right.
telling me about bad matchups. There are no bad matchups. Finally, on the play, here in the finals. Oh, it's Zabel again. Oh no. We're playing against Infect unless they switch decks. Um, I'll keep this
Yep.
hand. It has Jete and Plow in it.
Yeah, this is great. Land off the top would make this pretty much ideal.
Yep. Oh, poor Zabel. But they do have a good matchup according to Phil, even though we did take the last one with some goofy games.
Yeah, I haven't played this a lot in the post Skyclave apparition world to like know at an intimate level how the matchup has changed. But I played so much of this matchup for a long time. Uh, like Nick Miller and Tom Ross were locals at my store, so like I was just so used to playing this matchup all the time.
Oh, this is not. They switched. They're on something else. Sliver me timbers.
That's okay. Our hand is very good against slivers as well.
Yep. Oh, no vial, no one drop. They pitch their one drop to force. Land, please. Land, please. Land, please. Please land. All right. Wrecked.
So this is a hand where a crystalline sliver will ruin us.
The what now?
Why do I even talk?
So I I will say to all the viewers and everyone, I don't think I've ever beat slivers with any deck. And like that's kind of true. I want to get this Batterskull, or yeah, Batterskull's better than Sophie, right?
Yeah, our plan is create something that is larger than the slivers and bash with it. Hopefully, put Jitte on it to help protect it, because we now can't interact with their creatures.
Right. All right. Predator. All right. So, oh no, Wasteland.
Oh,
Got him. All right, we're gonna need to draw this land here.
yeah. The fact that this is shutting off like our Skyclave apparitions plus our swords is pretty brutal.
Yep. So unless they can give the Crystalline Sliver flying, they can't attack with it this turn. There are several ways to do that, though.
They could also give it like double strike. Wait, no, the double strike one costs more than that, I
The
think.
first strike one costs 1. All right, so they don't really have attacks right now. So we do get to Batterskull and batter some skulls. I might as well put this to 3.
Yes, we are going to use that to put in our 2/2s.
All right, so I attack here. They don't have first strike yet. So do I port or do I put in Jitte? Probably Jitte, because that'll
I
keep
think we're
this
putting
thing.
in Jitte.
Yeah, that'll keep it bigger than everything else.
The thing about porting is that we can take them off of some color combinations, but since they have, oh wow, just digging.
Yeah, must
I
be
guess if
land
they hit a
heavy.
Gale Rider sliver, it's just so good for them.
Oh, Skyclave Apparition can do something. I was gonna put it in anyway.
Yeah, this turn has gone well.
Yeah, we have apparently found a niche against poor Zabel where we can just turn mediocre hands into gold while they stumble a little bit.
We have gotten the uh-oh in chat.
I didn't think it would look like this 2 turns ago. Yep. I was
Yeah,
pretty worried.
I thought we were pretty close to dead, but we're coming back.
Yeah, they said me neither. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's a surprise to us all. All right, so I think if they double block, they lose, but if they don't double block, they also lose. Like somehow maybe chumping is right with one of the lords. Because if this goes down to a 2-2 and they lose all their material, I think they can never come back.
Yeah,
Yeah, or they just have to try to spike and get bigger. So, all right, yeah, I like the play that they decided to make. It was one of the two viable options. As tempting as a double block is there.
yeah. The chump is available to them in future turns unless we
Right.
start getting cute and move the
Wow.
Jitte around a lot.
All right, we stole another one against slivers. Sorry, Sable. All right, so Council's Judgment can answer Crystalline Sliver.
Yep.
Um, most of the slivers are, I guess, the lords are green. Uh, does that?
There's a weird assortment of colors.
Yes, they are most of the colors. I think we have to bring in the paths, even though that just increases our exposure to Crystalline Sliver.
They probably don't play basics, so we get to free roll that path as a better swords.
Yeah. Um, okay, so what's coming out? Sanctum Prelate. They barely have spells. Thalia, they also
Yep.
barely have spells. Do you go all Thalia? Oh yeah, same thing. I'm learning. We're bringing in the paths, so we want to cut the Thalia, so I don't have to leave up 2 mana. Smart.
So we can board in the 5 cards you have in that one pile
Yes.
for those 5, and that is the easiest in out. We can also think about Relic Warder and Gideon.
Yep.
Both cards are eh. The Relic Warder is just another card that can eat an Ether Vial that they're leading on, but the Relic Warder is better when we're on the play, and the Gideon can just get run over by creatures and not do a lot in a lot of scenarios, but in the awkward board staldy games, Gideon can be good.
Yeah. If they have the flying idiot, then basically nothing we do is going to matter. But is Relic Warder better than Spirit of the Labyrinth? I guess they
Yeah,
do play.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah. So it's a 3/1 can trade up with a lorded sliver, like a 2/2 that's lorded once or a lord that's lorded twice. Relic Warder has the ability to maybe eat an Aether Vial. Spirit's also more castable. They also have a large number of the Horizon Cycle lands, so I actually think I like Spirit better.
Okay, we can consider the Relic Order when we're on the play then.
All right. Yeah, sniping an Aether Vial on the play seems just so filthy, but yeah, on the draw, it's kind of a shitter. All right, well, this is very good unless they have Crystalline Sliver.
This hand's fine. We're not throwing it back. I don't know that I'd go so far as very good.
All right, I meant keepable.
Yeah, so like we don't have a real clock. We don't have a real early play other than killing their stuff. We don't have a source of card advantage. This is okay.
Oh shit, they had the vial.
Yeah.
So do we wasteland? Like we have answers to their next two creatures. We can slow down the arrival of those creatures. This delays Crystalline Sliver by at least a turn if we waste. Like,
I think this is an example of the wasteland that feels horrible, but you do it anyway.
yeah, I agree with that. This is like when you have to waste Delver after they play Delver. Like
Yeah.
if they played anything other than Aether Vial, that would have been a slam wasteland. Like just some random sliver in play I don't care about. But now I think my map for the next couple turns. Oh, they didn't have it. All right, so my map for the next couple turns is uh, plow your shit, path your shit, flicker your Aether Vial.
Yep.
All right. I was so
I
ready.
respect it.
Yep.
Don't crystal and sliver.
Yep.
Don't do it.
But missing on the one drop, missing on the land, like all of that. All right, I'm gonna hang out this Rishadan port instead of my second white source because I'm gonna need this Flicker Wisp. All right, what you got? Is it the Crystalline to blank my most of my hand? It's Unsettled Mariner. Okay, so
Okay, so we don't need to remove that on our turn, or do we have to pay? I forget the exact text.
I whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability, it gets force spiked. So I
Let's
think
just take this now.
yeah, let's just get rid of it because I don't think they have Crystalline Sliver because if they did, they would have led on that. It's just like a better Mariner.
But if
But
they do, it's devastating.
right, yeah, like if they just draw it for turn, it's so bad.
Or like they tick up Vile and I don't know, hibernation sliver or something, and then they can bounce it.
Where's that Phyrexian Revoker? It would have been so good
Can't
so many
can't
times.
play it anymore.
Yep, unplayable.
2019, 2020 cards evolved too much.
Okay, so now uh, I could, are we still flickering this? Or they've shown me they don't have Crystalline Sliver. I could just play Mom and leave up uh, Path and port them if they.
So Brian, I'm going to ask you the same question I
All right,
always
how do
ask
we win this
anyone.
game? All right, so I think we win the game if I flicker Aether Vial this turn and next turn cast Jete and equip it.
Yep, that's the plan.
All right, so glad you're here for all that clarity. If they have another Unsettled Mariner, they get to stifle this, which is pretty nice. All right, they had a Mariner, so I guess I just untap my own land instead.
Sounds good.
Not that I can do anything with one land, but here we are.
Is Mariner spell or ability?
Yes.
It's real good against Jitte.
Spell or ability. Yeah, yeah, real good. Luckily, this Path to Exile is here, so I can at least get Jitte, connect with it, next turn Path, and uh, clean this up.
Unless Crystal and Sliver, as always.
Yeah, 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 sure.
Live in fear. It's the Oko of this matchup.
Yep. Never not live in fear of Crystalline Sliver. And this is the kind of Sliver game that we can win. It's just what those last three cards are. That's everything right now. This looks like Sinew Sliver. Yep. That's like the only white card in the deck. I guess Unsettled Mariner, technically also white card.
Some of the decks also run castable white spells out of the sideboard, but with our opponent's mana base, I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, so I'm going to play around Wasteland as much as I can. Get this Jitte online. And try to set up a next turn where I can just Plague Win them.
Yeah. So food for thought for like playing around Wasteland. You're already exposed to Wasteland. You already have two different things in play that are going to
Yeah,
get blown up by a Wasteland. So a lot of times in those cases, it's just better to put another Wastelandable thing in play.
that's fair.
The reason to play out the white source is if you draw like a whole bunch of white spells and you end up wanting to double or triple spell in the same turn. But, you know,
Right. All right, so I have to fade Gale Rider Sliver and First Strike Sliver right now. Like Gale Rider could trade off with the Flicker Wisp, and that's still pretty bad for me. Hibernation. Okay, that
oh,
that one's
that's
good,
good.
but it does hurt their life total. That it's not Crystalline Sliver, though it is a solid. Like I can just juice up this Flicker Wisp and just start bashing for sevens and back it up with my Path Textile.
Yeah. So I think the current question is who's the beatdown? And it really depends on what our opponent has in hand.
Right. This mom will save a lot of trouble. Like once she gets active, she just absorbs 3 damage a turn. Oh, okay. Okay. So I think I. All right, they have a lot of Aether Vials. So
Each one of these removal spells is really like a shock to their face that costs 2 mana.
right. So I think I want to just go face with the Flicker Wisp, max damage, and then I can harry their creatures in combat on their
Yeah.
turn. Uh-oh. All right, they have 1 card in hand, no respect. Uh, Flying Haste. Okay. Yeah, I can just. Oh, shit. So this denies me the. I might just have to use both of my removal spells on this to make sure Jitte keeps connecting. Like I plow it, they pay 2, they put it back in. Then I path it, they pay 2, they can't put it back in. Does that make any fucking sense at all? Or maybe
Uh, what if we target Hibernation Sliver?
I don't think that does what we need it to because then they just vial that in, bounce this. It's going to eat up both of our removal spells regardless.
Yeah, it's awkward.
So I think that huh.
We also could just let them go to blocks and pump twice.
We only have to pump once.
Oh, 2/2, not 3
Yeah,
3.
it's a 2/2. So that's fine. Getting Mother of Runes in play next turn lets me keep pushing. Yeah, I think playing. All right, so I like that. I like letting them go to blocks, pump once. They lose 2 life to bounce this thing. I get Mother of Runes in play to start connecting next turn. I uh, bother their shit in combat on their turn. God, I would
We're
almost
doing
prefer this was Crystalline Sliver. All right, that's
the
an
fact that that's going to give any other slivers flying and haste is really bad.
yeah, it's not ideal. Safe to say. All right, so yeah, I have to make any moves I'm going to make in combat. Oh yeah, they all have flying now, so there's not even a color I can name to get through them. I might just be on defense now with Flicker Wisp. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put me to 2. I'm not excited about that.
Yeah, we are probably doing awkward pseudo fog here.
Yeah, and going after the sinew sliver doesn't matter, like because they can just vial it back in, and then it only takes 2 damage out of combat. Going after hibernation takes 3 out of combat. Is
Makes
there's
sense. I don't know how we get out of this situation without a really good top deck.
Okay, so I think I go after this one first. I don't know if that matters. So yeah, I'll go after the Mariner first, because that'll at least save me a mana. Not that I'm doing anything with the mana. I don't know, fucking know. Uh, so I can pay the 1. All right, so they pay. Okay, I think I figured this out. Uh, they pay 2 there, then I path here. Oh no, yeah. Yes, okay. I think I found it. Maybe not. It depends on if they sequence this correctly. I think I sequenced it backwards. I think if I went after Sinew Sliver first and then went after Mariner, I would be able to kill this, or at least minus it without it getting stifled. It depends on how they want to dance these around. Okay. Yeah, I fucked this up. I got so if I did this in the other direction, I would have been able to get this one out of play. But now it doesn't matter. Oh, I can -1 hibernations. Nope. Doesn't matter. Can't block it. And they can Violin the Lord. All right, so no blocks. I am gonna minus on this if I can. The God fucking double vial. But that if I minus on this, nope, doesn't matter. God, Aether Vial's such a bitch. I keep
The
thinking I
sliver tech
find
is
it.
obnoxious. And
Yeah.
like no one has any experience against it, so like you're always trying to figure out all this stuff live.
All right, Mariner. So that will have flying. All of their available blockers will be white next turn, so that's good news. Um, I could force the Lord into play but that's not even
You
like
don't really
really.
gain anything
Yeah, that
by
doesn't
doing that.
do anything. They're gonna do that anyway. But now, okay, now if they activate, nope, they still have 2 vials. Fuck. All right. I keep trying to find it and it's not there. This is a great game though. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Your brain should like slide out of your skull by the end. It's
Yep,
usually how I feel in these matchups.
absolutely.
It's even weirder when you both have vials and like revokers are in the deck. Oh baby. What does that do?
Uh,
This is probably a situation
that's
where
not
we
what I want.
start looking to trade bodies
Yep.
so we
So,
can just recruiter for Flicker Wisp, get another Flicker Wisp, and like that's our path forward.
okay. So I think Flicker Wisp has to stay back on D now. Like I block, give protection while I set up this backwards Flicker Wisp thing.
So you could attack this turn because you'll still have one Flicker Wisp defensively if you think one Flicker Wisp defensively is enough.
Okay. So I guess the difference is they have to pay 2 life on D if I leave the Jitte one up. But I guess they have to do that anyway, or else they just lose their idiot. All right,
Yeah,
so
maybe we should just hold it back.
uh,
It's it's weird because like they have this double vial situation, which is delightful.
yep. All right, so I'm just gonna hold back, get the Flicker Wisp, flicker the Recruiter, and get another Flicker Wisp. Uh, we better win this game after all the work. We've spent so much time trying to figure out how Aether Vial works that my clock's getting low.
This is nothing.
Yeah,
I don't start sweating until we get to 6 or 7.
I don't live this life. Like, I want to be done. Yeah, so we just pass, and now we're in the busy combo mode. Flicker Wisp. Okay, so suddenly Mother of Runes has overtaken Hibernation Sliver as the king of this battlefield, or queen. Queen?
If you
Queen.
haven't already auto yielded to your opponent's files, that's probably a nice time saving thing to do now.
Oh, yep. That makes sense. They do have a lot of them. Okay. That was an insane draw. Like this line to just get all 4 Flicker Wisps and then something else out of the deck. Really exciting. Fuck.
Oh no.
That doesn't matter. Their shit was already unbeatable. Unless they get first strike, it's all fine. Okay, so block, crystalline,
And probably hibernation.
hibernation. Yeah.
And then is that 8 incoming?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7.
7.
So yeah, I guess that's the block. And then I give this pro blue or white, whatever. Return which one? That one. They might not even make me tap it. So that comes back in. That's the same thing. That doesn't change anything. Bounce that. You're at 9. Okay, so they have 1 vial left. I can still gain 2 life at some point. And I'm going to have extra blockers this turn. So I flicker Recruiter, which gets another Flicker Wisp.
So the issue is that whatever creature you're getting, you get later, not now.
Yes. So is there a line where I flicker this Aether Vial and kill them? So I have 6, 7, 8 in the air. They'll go to 7 if they want to bounce anything. Huh. I could also flicker Cloud Shredder. Then they can't block my flyers at all. They have to pay
Remember,
2.
their stuff is shrouded.
Oh yeah, JK. All right, all right. All right. So if I take the Aether Vial, they have to. Yeah. Am I dead next turn? I'm at 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers.
You're
I can go to
realistically at
4.
4 life.
Yeah. So I block the 3 threes, and I'm still dead on board to this. So I need to get 2 counters on this Jitte this turn.
You
Or
can do that by moving the Jitte to Recruiter. You can give Recruiter Pro Blue. Send in Recruit. Oh, fuck. No, they can just bounce the red-white sliver and
yep,
block that way.
yeah. But
I
if
guess
they
that would.
does that kill them? So if they bounce red white sliver, they go to 7. They violet back in to block. They bounce it, they go to 5, and there is 6 damage still coming. Is there a way to? Is there something to flicker this Aether Vial? Is there something to that? Uh, like flickering my
We
own shit doesn't matter because I'm dead.
we can move the vial to Recruiter. Get Recruiter protection. Attack in with all 3 of our creatures. Assuming one wisp lives, we can wisp a wisp to have two blockers back
All right.
and re-equip to a wisp.
All right. I'm gonna try this. I got to do something here. All right. So there's you, pro blue. Then attack with. Do I attack with everything? I think I have to, like, at least pressure them.
I
Force.
think attacking with everything puts our opponent in the situation where they can make the most mistakes,
Okay.
which might be what we're going for right now.
I'll agree with that. This game has been crazy.
Yeah, shout out to Daniel Nunes or Nunes, I'm not sure the pronunciation, who has just been grinding slivers for years and actually understands how all of those cards work.
Yeah, yeah. I have copied some of their lists before. I filmed a league with slivers a couple weeks ago. It's on my in my archive somewhere. So now they're doing all of the math that we just did, but backwards. And they have to respect one unknown card. They know about Flicker Wisp. They don't know about this. But there's not much respect to give. Like, we're both almost dead in both directions here. So I guess like the one, oh, all right. They're just taking they did not do the bounce thing, bounce block game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can go to 1 here or lose their hibernation sliver.
Yeah, so opponent could have just taken. Well, no, I guess I can't take all of it on the
No,
nose.
yeah, they
One
need to block
block
one of these.
blocked, forced.
Yep. All right, so we're going to damage. They can bounce their thing if they want to. So 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can put them to 1. Then they can't bounce things anymore, but then I can't gain 6 life.
Is gaining 4 life going to be good enough?
So
We
probably
can
no.
flicker wisp a flicker wisp. We have two blockers,
Yep. And
and that means we're looking at 5 potential incoming damage,
all right,
maybe
so
more if they rip a creature.
block, block. Uh, so yeah, block, block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're at 6. Yeah, we have one less blocker than I think you just said we did. All right, I'm gonna let this damage happen and keep up my Jitte counters. Then flicker wisp, a flicker wisp.
We're also going to want to play out our land, I
Yeah, and
suppose,
move the
because of
Jitte.
Mariner reasons, or yeah, that too.
Yeah, so is moving Jitte, yeah, I think that's worth doing.
I agree. It forces an activation.
Yeah, which they only have one left. All right, so hibernation slivers back in. Then this shows up. I can bounce my recruiter and set something up for next turn.
Yeah, Recruiter will get Walking Ballista, which represents lethal.
All right, yeah, so we just have to survive this turn. Well, Mariner. If they're at 1, it's pretty safe. We cannot kill them from 3, though.
So if we can kill Mariner in combat, that would be ideal.
Yeah. Yep. Uh, we need them to blank on this draw. Like, I think most creatures off the top just are enough. I'm effectively at 8. Oh, no. Oh, no, it was a lord. All right, so This doesn't look good. Oh yeah, I'm fucking dead. Yeah, so block the biggest ones, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, yeah, okay. That was an awesome game. Came a little short.
Oof.
Do we win if they brick there? We take 3 less. Or no, we take a lot less because the whole
Yeah.
body is over there. I think we win if they brick there. All right. Relic Warder on the play.
Yep.
Probably better than Spirit of the Labyrinth.
Sounds good.
Um, yeah, none of this other stuff matters. Okay, back in. All right, we got like 7.5 minutes to win this game. Let's
Yeah,
make
it's
this
fine.
an easy one. Uh,
Uh,
no
it's
removal, but we do have like the Batter Skull and Flicker Wisp.
This is a hand that is unexciting. It has a plan. It has mana, the ability to cast spells.
I,
Um, I don't know if this wins. It's not bad.
I'm gonna keep it. I think that the Batter Skull is just such a swinger, especially on the play. Like turn 3 Batter Skull on the play, it's gonna be bigger than their things, even if they curve into Lords. Like we just need to keep them off flying for a little while. We even have a Wasteland to mess stuff up.
I think we lose to an Ether Vial hand a good portion of the time, but I think we beat other fair hands.
All right. Well, we're just gonna draw a Relic Order, so it doesn't matter. Close.
Almost.
Okay, so uh, they might be able to deduce that we have the other 2 weapons in hand because getting Sword of Fire and Ice is like probably the third favorite weapon in this matchup. But they may also think I'm just trying to control the board. Like if they put in Crystalline Sliver, that's white mana and blue mana. Here comes the Crystalline Sliver. Great.
Yep.
Okay, that's all right. We tricked them. That wasn't the plan. So I could Wasteland, try to slow them down a little. I still get Batterskull, but no, we need the 4 mana to equip Sword of Fire and Ice next turn. I promise I've been listening. The
Yeah.
what does a winning plan look like? Here it is.
Yeah, it is just like make the invincible batter skull that is dealing a whole bunch of damage.
Yep.
We're not going to get to block with it, unfortunately. We have
Yeah.
one council's judgment we can draw towards to get rid of the crystal and sliver.
Yep. This looks like a
Oh man,
Lord.
our opponent's hand is so aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Slivers does. It's just like the Pack Rat deck of Legacy. Remember Pack Rat? I don't know
Oh,
if,
I remember. I never forgot.
yeah. All right, so let's see if a Batterskull holding a sword is good enough. If their hand does almost anything, we're in trouble.
So they probably have another 2-drop too, since like they didn't vial in that lord.
Right.
So we'll see what it is.
Let's hope it doesn't grant first strike. 6/6 lifelink is good. This damage has to go face. All right. I mean, it happened. Let's see if they
Yep.
can clap back for enough damage. Oh, the Mariner. They could have stifled this card draw and this 2 damage if they put Mariner in before damage.
All right. Happy they missed that.
Yep, we kind of needed that. All right. No haste, no problem. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage coming in. It's a tight race. I'm going to put Jitte onto Batterskull also this turn. That's another 4 life I can get. I can't remove their flyer, so I might as well make sure this doesn't get countered. Can we assemble Voltron? I left up a mana for the... All right, we've assembled Cauldra.
Now we can still shock and do our thing.
Yep, still shock and draw a card.
The issue with the current situation is that our opponent can just hold back the green sliver next turn.
Yes. Yes, I would like to do this, please. They're at 4. I'm at 17, which is effectively 21. They just noticed that they missed that last turn. Yep, it's tough. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there's so many
Oh, another
moving parts.
Mariner. They missed it this turn, too. All right, so they've taken 4 damage and I've drawn 2 cards that they didn't have to give me. But 3, 6, 9, damn girl, fine. 12, 14, 16. Oh, they are ripping. A Lord kills me here. Anything else, we keep bashing. Yeah, they
Yeah, we
can.
can gain a lot of life unless they have like a hibernation sliver.
Yeah, Hibernation Sliver gets me. Leaving back this green sliver gets me too. Well, yeah, I think, but the green sliver is also a lord, so they lose a lot of attack power if they have to chump with predatory sliver. So unless they can lord up or haste up, oh no, they're tapping mana.
Uh,
Uh,
I haven't
4,
mathed yet, but
8,
it feels bad.
12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and I am at 21. Well played. Block. Wait, I can't. Flying.
Why doesn't our germ fly? It does everything else.
Yeah, that's the one thing it doesn't know how to do. Gain 2. I'll show you what. I wish this was for Xaxes. That would be more fun. All right. Zabel got their revenge. All right. Dead Zoes. That
Yep.
was a lot of fun. 3-2'd the league. The losses were tight. The wins were awesome. Even the losses were awesome. This was a great league to get on camera.
Yeah, and one thing that's really like exemplified by this league is just how complicated playing this deck can be. Like we have two people talking through these lines, and there's still a lot of situations where things are very very unclear, especially in
Yeah.
that last slivers match when it came to like trying to do the weird like life total math with multiple vials and bounces and hibernation sliver and sequencing of multiple like one drop removal spells. Uh, there's a lot going on. Death and Taxes is one of those decks that like yeah, you can pick up and play it as like a nice budget entry point to Legacy, but you know, I've been playing this deck for 10 some odd years off and on, and just all the time I'm still learning new things about like various fringe matchups and weird interactions.
Yep. Very, very tricky, very difficult deck. There's been a lot of times where I'm playing the blue side of the matchup where like my opponent just forgets to port me one turn. Like they've ported me like 12 turns in a row and then they just like miss it one turn and they're dead. Or like they've been porting the plains for 6 turns and they switch to the island, then they lose because I have white. Like they're it just those tiny little things matter so much. Uh, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you watching, you know, along at home on YouTube, like please throw anything we missed in the comments. Like always willing to read about my mistakes. I'm sure in that slivers game too, there were lots of other alternative lines.
Yep. So we're going to sign off here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for me. Also, Phil at Thraben U. His information to his stream and YouTube are in the description. So like, comment, subscribe with him too, and we'll see you next time.